finally here.
I know.
Part 3. Mm-hmm. But this case is different.
Oh, it's very different.
It's so different.
It's very different.
People, if you can't see it, if for some reason you're blind, or if for some reason you just are looking at the table and you're like, all right, there's a lot of things to be fair. I'm going to hand this to you.
Yeah.
And because that's what it belongs to. The Single Diary of a Precarious Casey Gardner.
Yep.
The Jared Burgess has finally brought what he talked about when he first came on. And I think it was around this time last year. I think you came on in like October. I think you did.
Oh my God, I think you're right.
I think we're around the 1 year mark.
That's crazy.
1 year later.
Yeah.
And he brings this bad boy to life.
You know how crazy that is? Like, I said I would do it, and then I did it.
You said you would do it, and that's
crazy.
That's like every anime.
That's
Which is,
bro, that's crazy.
It's so, I want to say the word commendable. I feel like that fits here. And in a generation where people talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk, to see you, like, this is real.
Yeah, you can tell you're touching it. You're touching. You can.
It was an idea.
That's crazy.
I smell it.
And it's like when you tap on it, it sounds so good.
And there's just pages and pages, and there's illustrations.
It's like a good, decent, like size girth too. I was like, wow,
dude, it's great. Like, this is just a perfect book to have. I don't see why someone wouldn't want this book.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, if you don't have this book, you're probably the same person that's not subscribed to the podcast. I mean, it's all adding up. So
that's perfect for young adults, 14 and up, really. But like,
it was perfect for me.
What's really funny is all the feedback I've gotten so far has been from like older people and adults so far. Yeah, because I don't have high schoolers in my contacts to be like, this is so cool. But like, it was made for them.
So I don't want to spoil too much. Mm-hmm. Too much.
That can be a different section of the podcast.
Different section, but you did talk about it when you first talked about writing the book.
Yes,
and you said, you know, there's Gail.
Yeah,
and you were
Gail.
like, you know, Gail goes through some shit.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, let's see. Mm-hmm. Oh. And, you know, I don't want to say it, but I kind of noticed how this word seems to be emphasized right here on your personalized message.
Yeah.
To me, kind of
Yeah.
crazy. Kind of crazy. But it makes sense. It makes sense now.
I could see you popping wheelies and
don't know if I would want to. No, I'm kidding. If this ever, for some reason, just even a fan-made movie, fan-made show.
That'd be so crazy if it was a fan-made movie.
Be so good.
Because Mario, like, once upon a time, it's going to blow your mind, right? Once upon a time, there was a time where only I cared about that book.
Only you.
Yeah. And now there's someone down in South Carolina who my aunt knows, who is an English teacher, who's like, hey, I read this book. I think I want to get our school in South Carolina to at least add it to like the summer school curriculum for children to read. And I was like, wow, that's really cool.
That'd be incredible.
And he was like, yeah, we're going to try and get this done. He's going to email me. Or he emailed me already, but he's supposed to email me back eventually to give me updates about it. But like my old high school, Platt High School, oh my God, they want me to do another book signing / talk about it.
That's incredible.
So that's pretty cool.
You already had the first one, right?
Yep.
How was it?
It was sensational.
Talk to me about it. What was it like?
Okay.
First of all, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
But how does it feel to be recognized for a true accomplishment? And like, do you do well with taking lots of compliments or like receiving?
I found that I kind of don't a little bit, but it's like, because I don't know if I told you, but the book came out and then people, what's crazy? This one time I was at the rec center, right? And I was leaving. Yeah, shout out the rec. I was at the rec center one day, and then one day I was leaving. And I remember I think it was a week before that I gave Emily her book, right?
Shout out to Emily.
Yep, shout out to Emily.
Yep.
And I think it was a Tuesday I was leaving the rec, and some random person in a rec center shirt said, "Are you Jared?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he went, "The author?" And I was like, who is this man? I still don't know who this is. Wow. I haven't seen this person ever again. I don't know who they were, but I was like, wow, that's a stranger, and I don't know. He was like, congrats.
And they recognized you as the author.
Yeah, and like my back was turned and everything. So I'm like, did Emily say something? Was Emily talking about it? I don't know.
Well, it's a big campus, but it's a small campus.
Yeah.
Word definitely spreads fast.
Uh-huh.
And the fact that damn near all your friends posted about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of helps.
Oh, my God, Mario, that was so crazy. When the day that I posted that the book was like officially out for people to buy, the amount of, they're not re-stories, but the amount of like people adding my story or my post to their story, it was so nice to see. It was like people I hadn't talked to in X amount of time. Of course, it's like a little two-tap thing, you know? Mm-hmm. But it was really nice. I screenshot every single one, and I planned on, like... It's going to sound so dumb. I screenshot every single one because I planned on, like, reposting their screenshot or their re-story of me.
Yeah, so it just keeps...
But it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I was like, I can't do this. Yeah. I can't do this. But, like...
Your DMs must have been flooded with mentions.
It was really cool. Yeah. But, like, getting acknowledged for an accomplishment, yes. I mean... I don't know. Part of me is still like, it's one thing I did one time. I guess it's like really cool that I did write a book.
Are you someone where when it's your birthday, you kind of... Are you someone who's... I feel like there's two different types of birthday people.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the middle, but I feel like it's very two obvious types of people.
Yeah.
It's my birthday! Mm-hmm. Hey! And then there's, wow, it's my birthday. Deep thought. Another year around the sun. How do I feel about this?
Well, I haven't had a birthday party in like... since like freshman year of high school, I think. But this year, actually, I usually celebrate my birthday with my family, and this year I thought about making a birthday post, and then I didn't do it. So like, if you ever see a birthday post that comes out in the next month or two, it's not my birthday. It's just in my drafts.
Someone's still gonna find This was criminal, Jared. One time, someone on their Snapchat had it to where it said it was their birthday. And I told them happy birthday. I gave them a very heartfelt message. And they said it was the wrong date. I don't know why it's still saved as today. But like, it's not. They said, I appreciate the compliment, but it is not my birthday. I said, okay. Word. So.
Around the English department at Central, a couple of the professors, well, not even like a couple, like a lot of them, all of them kind of, if they see me, they're like, congratulations, you wrote a book and you had your first book signing. That's so cool. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, thank you. That's really cool to hear you say, because you're like a professor. And then one of my old professors, she actually came to the book signing, and her book came in the mail that day after my book signing, so I didn't get to sign her book, which is unfortunate. Oh. But then she like wrote me a very nice email, which was incredibly terrifying to open because she's like an English professor. So I was like, damn, she's gonna grade the shit out of my out of my book.
Yeah.
But her comments were really great. She was like, I can see why publishers would want to get back to you about this.
Right.
At the signing, I said that I submitted to 7 places, I believe. And out of the 7, 3 got back to me. And one of them, they helped me with publishing. But like, 3 out of 7 for the first time ain't bad.
That's not bad at all.
That's like a little bit under half. So
listen, Jared, in the sport of baseball,
if
you can go 3 for 10,
that's
for your career. That's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's Hall of Fame. You went 3 for 7, Jared. Jared, you went to go.
You're right.
I mean, let's see Stephen King. I mean, I wonder what his were, but that's incredible, dude. And you did this all on your own for the most part.
Yeah, that's true.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
You had your own format.
Yeah.
You wrote the book, and you applied yourself.
Yeah.
Many people, when they have fears and anxiety and stresses towards taking that leap of faith into the unknown, where they're uncomfortable and they're not good at whatever it is they want to try. Because you can't always start off great or good. You have to be, that's like a rough draft.
Yeah.
Or you just have to start in the bottom and work your way up.
Yeah.
And many people are afraid of that grind. And Jared, you did not duck the grind.
I'm telling you, throughout the whole process, there were 3, maybe 4. I'd say there were like 3 strong moments where like my spirit was crushed, where I was like, I don't even know if it's worth it anymore. And 2 of those reasons came from illustrations. And then the last reason, so like once again, shout out Jasmine. I absolutely love you. I will continue to shout you out every time I talk about this book.
At the bottom of this book.
Yep.
If anyone's wondering.
Beautiful. But yeah, struggles came from illustrations. At least 2 of my 3 problems. The third one was basically like that bad boy you got right there, the hardcover. Oh, I told you. Like that thing getting that formatted and like fit onto the way that Amazon.
You told me it was a struggle.
I wanted that, bro. I wanted. Yeah. Oh my god!
But now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
Now you know.
I know.
And you had to learn.
Yeah,
you had to.
That was one of the worst things I've ever. I sat for like, when I figured it out, Mario. When I figured it out, I told you I felt like the smartest man in the universe. I felt like Albert Einstein, Benjamin Franklin, all of them at the same time.
Yeah, because they had to figure this out too.
Yeah. Oh my god, I felt so
incredible.
Smart. But yeah, like, the book is out. People can buy it. People I don't even know can buy it, which blows my mind.
I want to, from now on, for every book you make, including this one, always have, like, a 15 to 30-second ad on my behalf.
Yeah?
To tell people, like, we're in mid-conversation. And then all of a sudden it's, hey, have you ever read a book? Are you into reading? Do you feel like you're lacking reading? And out of nowhere, it's just like me absolutely glazing this book.
People, do you actually hate reading? Well, this book is designed for you.
Yes. No, I will figure it out. If you want to give me a script, Jared, I will do it on my own behalf. Like, if you want it to be like you give me a script.
I did not think that far.
I'm just saying, you let me know.
Yeah, now it's out there. Yeah, now it's out there. I can think about it.
The last person I had on was the president of the Brazen Blue Devils, Katie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She gave me this band,
which
is incredible. And I told her, I said, hey, you give me free merch, I will do like a 30-second something. We can work something out.
Yep.
Which hopefully we do. But now, if I have 2 ads, that's like my dream. Ad reads? Oh my, that's like the dream. Oh my god, dude, just let me know. I will. I got you. Or if you give me the blessing, Jared, I will make it happen.
I will keep that in mind, Mario. Because like I told you for the central authors thing that Central has, like I have a chance, opportunity to potentially be on TV to promote my book.
So cool.
I'm gonna be like Fudge Effect front of my mind. Be like, me. Let me tell you how I got here. Let me tell you where this began for me.
That's hilarious.
Oh, nervous in front of a camera? well, let me tell you about my experience.
That's hilarious. But before we get into a lot about this book, tell me. So I know you said you're doing the second speech thing or book signing and speaking in front of the school.
Yeah.
What was it like the first time?
Okay, so what's really funny is it was at the Meriden Public Library where I had my first signing, and they gave me a smaller room. They gave me a room about like...
I saw the photos.
They gave me a room about the size of maybe like double this room, right? Not even double this room, but like double that wall if that wall was just like double that basically. And I kept planning for a room that size. But over time, this is over the course of maybe like 2 months, right? That I had to spread the word about the book signing I was going to have. Over time, people were like, yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there too. And I kept putting out flyers here. My family, they were putting out flyers too. And over time, I kept thinking like, I don't think this room's going to be big enough. But like, this is what they gave me. I'll just let it roll. And plus, if it's a small room and I get a lot of people, it's going to look really good.
Oh, yeah. No,
it's going to look packed,
like an Iron
right?
Man press conference or something. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'll just rock it. I don't think it's going to work out. But that's a problem when I get there, which is a terrible mindset to have about the problem. So anyway... I get to the library, and the security guard is like, Jared, we moved you to room, whatever it was called, like room 3, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, but I've been set up for room 5. So I walk into room 5, and nothing is set up the way I wanted it to, right? And I'm like, damn. I turned into Thanos, and I was like, I'll just do it myself, So I'm like, I'm thinking about how I want to rearrange a room now, because now I have like 30, 45 minutes to do it before the first person shows up. And as I'm doing it, one person walks up and they're like, hey, Jared, we moved you to room 3. Did you check it out? And I was like, nope. Like, you guys told me room 5. I think I'll stick with this room. And she was like, okay. And then someone else walked up and they're like, Jared, you're going to stay in room 5? And I was like, I planned for this room. And they're like, all right, we moved you to room 3. Do you want to stay like with this room? And I was like, yeah, I'll stay with this room. It's like, whatever, because I planned, this room was given to me, right? So then the third person, who was the coordinator for what I was doing, the person I was emailing most about.
Room 3.
His name is Shane. I love Shane.
Shout out to Shane.
Shane walked up and was like, Jared, you gonna stay with room 5? And I was like, yeah. He goes, we moved you to room 3. We have your picture up inside and everything. Do you want to check it out? And I was like,
movie here.
Yeah. I'll go check it out. So I go and check out room 3, and room 3 is like massive.
Oh,
it's like it's the room I had the thing in. Well, spoiler. It's the room I had my book signing in, my first one.
Yeah.
But I was like,
because you already started in the other room.
Yeah, I was like, I already started. It's like whatever. So I'm moving things around in this room by myself, mind you, and I'm like, damn, it's kind of some hard work. So then I'm like, everything's kind of already set up in room 5 for me, or room 3 for me, like they said. So I go back to Shane, and I'm like, I'll go to room 3. So I go to room 3, and it is like spacious in there, right? And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just wait because everything's already set up for me inside, right? So I put up my slideshow. Mario, people saw you holding my book. So it was behind me, like the dream. Everyone who has my book took a picture so they could be on the good old collage slideshow.
Yep.
So you were up there.
Incredible.
A lot of people were up there. And then people came in, and then I started at 6:05, I believe. Started at 6 o'clock, 6:05 for extra stragglers, and then people just kept coming in, like the entire time.
That must have felt so good.
Oh my god! Like
Jared, it
was crazy because I was so invested because I was looking at like Jasmine for majority of the time and then answering questions out. But it came to a point where I was looking down because I was looking at something in the book I was mentioning, and then I looked up and like the room was filled. I don't know how long I was looking down for, but when I looked up, I was like, wow. My heart feels kind of warm right now.
It's like the Grinch.
And
yeah. What is this?
I was like, is that what that feels like? But awesome. Yeah, I looked up and the room was like full. Like they had to get more chairs. People were on the sides.
Wow.
The back door, it started to fill up. So people were just standing in the door, just listening and watching. And I was like, wow, this is so crazy. This is my first one too.
So you were doing the signings there.
Yep.
But once was it signings first, and then you just kind of gave a speech, or what?
It was so. I was told we'd have the book signing for like an hour, right? So basically, I would come, I talk about the book, talk about the publishing process. That's what that one was about specifically. Mm-hmm. Just the publishing process, not about the book, because that's like I'm selling people the book to that one, you know?
Yes.
So that one was about the publishing process. So I talked about that for 45 minutes to an hour. It was supposed to be from 3 to 4 for the entire thing, right? But Jasmine and I ended up talking just for the hour. We didn't sign anything yet.
Yeah.
And everyone was like enjoying. I didn't know how fast time was moving at that point. So anyway, after we talked for an hour, that's when we started signing the books. So it was really like an hour 45.
Wow.
That it was. And it flew by for me, but it was crazy.
Did you have any stage fright?
No, I teach.
True.
So I'm like, I talk in front of people all the time.
Love how that works out.
And like when you talk in front of adults, it's like whatever. Talk in front of children. My glasses broke the other day, and like the kids were like, "Ha ha!"
That's crazy.
And I was like, "Damn." I mean, I guess they're right to laugh. I'd probably laugh too.
So we definitely covered some of it back when you first came on for the very first time, but it's been a year.
Yeah.
So let's kind of just recap.
I'm telling you, when I told you, like what I told you is only the first 17, 18 pages.
Yes.
And then there's
the rest of it.
There's like 160 more after that.
Yeah. How did you come up with the plot to this book?
So
on your own.
I wrote it. So okay. I started writing it with no direction. I was just writing. I was like, what's gonna happen to Daniel, right? And then by the like middle end of it, I was like, well, I gotta end it somehow. This is getting kind of, I don't know how much longer I can go. Yeah. And plus, like, because the years, I thought it was really cool to have, like, the year of I think it starts in 2015. But now it's getting to, like, 2020, you know? And then everyone knows. I'm trying to keep them as realistic as possible. So it's like, this could be someone's real diary, right?
Yeah.
But then when 2020 happened, I was like, damn, I got to cut this off by, like...
Brilliant.
So I was like, all right, how do I end this? It's getting real close. It's getting real close. So,
yeah,
I was thinking, what can I do with the story to make it, like, extra sophisticated and get some more interesting story elements in there? So I was like, okay, what do I have? Mm-hmm. And remember, I told you in the first one, I think, I had to make Gale important somehow. Because just ending a child like that is kind of just bad if it has no purpose.
True.
So I was like, okay, how do I make his purpose? How do I give him a purpose? And then how do I tie things back to Casey so she's also important. But how do I still make Daniel like the center? You know?
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, okay, well, I can tie Gale and Casey together, and that's kind of where the ending came from. So I was like, okay, the way that I've built it so far, like the first part 1, part 2, I was just like really writing to write. I think even like a quarter into part 3, I was still writing to write. But like during the back half, I had to take all this part and then I had to make this fit to the end.
That was a pain in the ass.
It kind of was a little bit, but I think I set myself up pretty well.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And like I tried to design and format the story so every time someone reads it, they get something new out of it, or they make a new realization. They're like, "Oh, this was happening then," or like, "Wow, he said that. That's crazy."
How did you come up with the names?
Oh, okay. So that's actually really funny. Oliver, who's in the story, is heavily based off of my friend Julio. Julio knows. Julio also read the book. Hi, Julio.
Shout out to Julio.
Yep, shout out to Julio. So Oliver is heavily based on one of my friends, Julio. Daniel is like 60% based on me. I thought Daniel Nick was just like a cool name. I don't know why. I just like
very interesting.
I just like the last name Nick because it's like KNI and not like NICK. Yeah. Like the K is silent, and I was like, ooh. So yeah, that's why I like that one. Casey Gardner. I figured that that's a pleasant sounding name, and like when I think of a Casey Gardner, for some reason I think of like a flower, or for some reason like a fountain. I don't know. I just felt like it was a nice sounding name.
It was pleasant as a gardener.
Yep. And then like Jessica, I don't know. I think Jessica's also a nice name.
Yeah.
I don't think there was much crazy thought that went into some of the names, but basically a lot of the references were like people that I know. So everyone in that story is kind of a little bit someone that I know or someone that I knew back in high school or from like middle school.
Yeah.
But I just had to think of a name. You just
kind of meshed them all together.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Saw how it played out.
Yeah.
Inside your head. Like
there's a teacher in there who's he's basically like a name drop cameo called Mr. Man. Mr. Man will never see this podcast because that's like a grown adult, but he doesn't know how much I love him because he's mythical. He's incredibly strange.
Why don't you ever reach out to him?
Well, I see him sometimes because at like professional development things, that's where like a lot of teachers come.
Right.
But he works at a middle school, and I also work at a school, so I see him. I saw him like a week ago, which is pretty funny.
You should tell him.
I thought about it, but I was kind of nervous.
Say, hey, you're kind of a character.
You're like a name drop.
Yeah.
There's another character in there, Yamale. It's Yamile. Mm-hmm. And they're also like a name drop. They don't really do anything. But I know a Yamale. Hi, Yamale, if you see this. Your name is in the story.
Yeah.
I might tag her about it. I think she'll think that's cool. But yeah, so Yamale's name is in the story because I think Yamale's an interesting name. It's just different, you know? But yeah, I don't think there's really a method to the names. But yeah, the 5 main characters, I guess. I thought Gale was like, okay, so Gale, I did put some thought into. I was like, wow, he's like a fleeting character. What's fleeting? Wind, Gale. Yeah, Gale. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I can't believe this. So, I have my stuff written down. Mm-hmm. I just want to think where I want to go next with this. Because, Jared, there's so many different ways we can go with this.
I could talk about this book myself for like an hour.
When it came to the writing process,
yep.
How did you write it? In Google Docs? And
I did do it in Google Docs, and then it was converted to make the formatting easier. Apparently, it's easier in just Microsoft Word.
Really?
I learned that through my publisher. So
did you start off single or double spaced?
Single.
Okay.
Yeah, it was single.
Okay.
I don't know the number online. I think she had it like 11:6 for the margins, something like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'd have to remember. But yeah, so she took the Google Doc and she swapped it to Microsoft Word. And that's basically the format that it's in right now. And then when I touched up a little bit of the illustrations, because I had to... So I gave her the story, and then she did the editing and whatnot, but she also added the illustrations. And then she sent it back to me. But I opened it back up on a Google Doc because that was just easier for me. And then on that format, I removed the illustrations a little bit where they needed to be. And plus, because I felt like I had to add some more, take some out. So it went from Google Doc to Microsoft Word back to Google Doc and then submitted to Amazon.
So if you were to recommend to anybody, would you keep it in a Google Doc?
Yeah, I think it's easier for me. And plus, I think they have better fonts. that could be an unpopular opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, the fonts did go crazy in that. The fonts are crazy.
I think the Google Doc fonts are a little bit better.
And the way in which you wrote it too,
yeah,
because it's in a diary format,
yeah,
definitely had to help.
Yeah,
because it was in a way you would write. I'm sure you would write one excerpt and then you would kind of like leave it. And then, like,
yes.
Okay. And then you would kind of treat it like maybe a couple days later. I would come
yes.
back
Exactly.
Incredible.
Exactly. That is a little bit of what I would do. And like the when they go to the amusement park, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 days before that. I know it's not like, because I think it's his birthday. I think it's Daniel's birthday. He gets tickets because his parents give him tickets to Kingdom Come. And then I think in book time, I think a week might pass in book time. But in that week, I think he makes 2 more diary entries. And then he's like, today's the day for Kingdom Come. And I think in real life, I think I wrote that when we got the tickets. And then I believe I went to the Big E between then, and then I came back and I was like, all right, I got some ammunition. 18-inch corn dog, here we go.
Crazy.
So I had to put that in the story.
Yeah.
Because that's a tradition for me. I get that every year I go to the Big E.
Dude, that is so cool, the fact that you took bits and pieces of your life and applied it.
Yeah.
In here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what most good authors do.
Yeah.
Because I think that everyone has a story to tell, and I say that all the time.
For sure.
And I guess for you, for someone who just started typing away, it kind of just comes to fruition.
Because of the way the story is, sometimes you can open up to a random page in this if you wanted to, and you could just be like, oh, wow, and then just shut the book. You can just read like one random entry if you wanted to.
Do you want me to?
Sure, let's see what you open up to.
Yeah, let's see. I'll open up to
You can open up to, you can open up to any page.
I want to kind of open up in like the a little before the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Shall I?
Yeah, sure. What you got?
So for anyone listening and watching, appreciate you guys. Once again, so if you don't mind me saying, so this story, the way people have been asking me whenever I was trying to like constantly like say, hey, Jared wrote a book.
Yeah.
I finally read the book.
Yeah.
People would ask, so what's it about?
I hate that question.
So what's it about?
It is so hard for me to answer that question.
I'm sure for the author, it's like, oh my God, what do I say?
Because my issue is that I don't want to spoil the part 1 because it's so short. But I feel like this surprise, because I mean, I guess if they've been listening, they know that Gale commits unalivant, He commits unalive. But like, if you're a new reader, that's going to blindside you,
Yeah.
And then there's the rest of the story. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's so hard to talk about because I don't know what to spoil and what not to spoil.
Right.
Because I can be like, oh, in part 1, one of the main characters commits suicide. The main character Daniel, if you think he's the main character, has to deal with that.
Yeah.
But like at that point, the surprise is ruined for you. But you still had a good experience, as you told me.
Phenomenal experience.
So like,
Jared, it was phenomenal.
It's hard for me to talk about.
As soon as I started reading,
yeah,
definitely once I got to the Gale part,
yeah,
I was too far in.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where things truly begin. From my perspective, and I'm sure many people have different takes on it.
Design method for designing the book or writing the book. If you make it through part 1, then in theory, I should have you.
Yes.
Because in part 1, I'm kind of laying out what the entire book is going to be like.
And I'm sure you talk with some people, and I'm sure you've probably done your research on authors or like looked into certain things. They always say like you always want to get the reader within the first, honestly, like paragraph.
Yeah.
But the first act, the first chapter.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that it holds some sort of substance to
what the rest of the book's going to be like.
Yes.
Like for a movie, it's told that if you make a movie, the first 10 to 15 minutes to show you what the rest of the movie is going to be like. Like if there's going to be extreme gore throughout the whole movie, you want to have extreme gore. Yeah. So people will be like, oh, I don't want to watch this and walk out if they want to. Or not watch it, Mm-hmm. So let me... Yeah, describe how you've been telling the story.
This is my... If someone were to just take a copy and paste, you just look up this book on Google, and then you click, what is this book about?
Yeah.
For me, it's... And these are my words, not Jared's, my words. It is about a group of high school friends through the lens and the perspective of one of these friends.
Good.
Whose name,
That's
whose
good.
name is Daniel Nick.
Yeah.
And all of these friends as a whole kind of go through their own trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
That kind of have an impact on not only themselves but each other throughout the story.
Yeah.
It's through and once again like through the eyes of Daniel, but in a diary format.
Yes.
That's kind of what I say.
That's good.
Is that fair?
I had never actually considered. I mean, of course I did, but I never considered telling people that like they all affect each other.
Yeah,
because they really do.
They do.
They for sure do. Like Oliver, that poor guy. When you
let me not.
Because I'm like, are we in spoiler yet?
Let me not. No.
Okay.
No, not yet.
Because I'm like, wow. When you find out Oliver's doing stuff like in the background, you're like, wow.
Yes.
What a nice kid.
Yes.
So like, Oliver has become a favorite of the people who've read the book.
Most definitely. Shout out to Oliver.
Yeah, shout out to Oliver.
Can't believe that Oliver is from your brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
They're from here.
Yeah.
You did that. Good for you.
I did do that. That's crazy to think about.
So, oh my gosh, this isn't the part I opened up to. Let's find something else. Let's do it randomly again. Let's try. Let's see what we can get here. Not this one. Okay. Hold on. I saw. I was in 2018. Yes.
See, you can even find where you were like that. No need for a bookmark in this book.
No need for a bookmark.
Crazy.
This book just
it's like I thought of. It's like I thought of everything.
It does wonders. And okay, I'll just say this. So once again, it's in diary format. Mm-hmm. So you have March 24th, 2018. I love how you're about to listen to your own words. Dear diary, Oliver got his license today. Let's go. Let's go. Now I have a chauffeur. Plus, we have our own ride for the amusement park now, so that's a good thing. I have my permit right now, and I'll probably be able to get my license sometime around October, probably. And we're in October right now, Jared. It's so crazy. I also think I'm coming down with a cold. I hate being sick so much. I wish the sickness would get sick and die. Incredible. But of course, I'm not that lucky, so I'll just have to deal with it. I think I'll just do some homework and watch TV or something. I'm too tired to do anything. It's just so real.
Yeah.
It seems like something I would say. I wish the sickness would get sick and die.
Yeah.
Jared, that's a bar. Jared, you knew you were cooking right there. Dude, that's awesome. But yeah, and that's just one. And there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many.
It's as if you start all over again in high school.
Yeah.
And you kind of just grow with someone. And I feel like you feel them growing as you read it.
Yeah, so that's another
incredible.
thing, which is... Because I started writing this when I was a sophomore in high school, right? And I finished it when I was a senior in college.
Wow.
I'm a super senior. I'm a 5th year senior.
4.5 or 5th?
This is my 5th year.
Starting this semester?
No. Like, I'm in my 5th year right now.
Really?
Yeah. This fall started my 5th year of being a senior.
Good for you. Wait, Are you done? I forgot. Are you done in the winter? Or are you?
I'm done in the spring.
So I
we should be graduating together.
I will say this. So I'm graduating in the fall.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm walking in the spring.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
We'll do something, but yes. So you
I started writing it my sophomore year in high school.
Wow.
And I'd like to imagine that now my writing skills have gotten better.
Yes.
So I think it's really cool to imagine that Daniel's writing also gets better. From the beginning of the book to the end of the book.
Yes.
Because in the beginning of the book, he's writing more simple things like, oh, well, this is my day. These are my friends. And by the end of the book, he's like, to be or not to be. Is this what happiness is?
Yeah.
Can I ever be happy?
Right.
Stuff like that.
Incredible.
And that's just like, he started off not wanting to have a diary. That he called it a journal.
He called it a journal.
Yeah.
And it's...
He started with diary and was like, nah, that's what girls do. He striked it through. It was like, nah, journal.
Yeah.
And then Casey was like, but I'm a girl and you like me. Because he's like, diaries are for girls. But she hit him with the facts.
She did.
And he was like, damn, never thought of it like that.
So cool, dude. Where did you... Or what would you credit your writing skills to? And I feel that a lot of people, when it comes to reading or writing, they expect every so often lots of big words.
Yeah.
Where do you, or how do you feel like you've gained more of a vocabulary or a vernacular over time?
That's a really good question, actually. What's really funny is I probably did. I don't think I used the thesaurus that often for writing that book. Maybe if I did it, maybe like...
So you think there was times where you were like, what would be a good word to go here?
I think it was more like, what would be... I don't want to use the same word again.
True.
I don't think it was more of like, oh, what's a good word? I think it was like, I just don't want to use this word again.
True.
So I was like, oh, what's a word like it, you know?
That's fair.
So,
So you did sometimes look into things to...
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that... I know that me personally, like my writing and English had to improve because it would improve for Daniel over time. Because like he starts as a freshman. Freshmen are dumb, you know? And then by senior, he's like thinking about life. And that's a mighty big leap from the years before.
Right.
And by then, he's also had multiple life-changing things happen to him that he constantly has to think about, which I assume are always on his mind too, you know? But I think that like my vernacular... I'm trying to... I don't know, really. Because I just know that I consume a lot of media. I watch a lot of anime, I watch a lot of movies, I watch a lot of TV. I play video games all the time.
And then sometimes just certain words will just stick with you?
Yes.
Wow.
Sometimes certain lines just stick with me. Sometimes I get ideas off of things. Sometimes I think of scenes I would like to write in my head. And then I'm like, that'd be a really cool idea for a story one day. I'll keep that line in my brain or write it down, you know? Or I'll be like, oh, I can do that with that word. That'd be really cool. Like, for the third story I want to write, it's always cooking in the back of my mind. One of the things that I want to write, one of the lines I want to write is, do you ever look down when you're flying above the cities, you know? And then another one is, well, how far do you have to go until the man becomes a monster? Or like, when does a candle become a flame, you know? Or like, when does that flame turn into a wildfire? Stuff like that.
All these things sound like they would be in an anime.
They could be. They could be.
I didn't tell you this, but I was watching this show.
Yeah.
It's called Soul Eater.
Yeah.
Jared, it was so good. I finished it yesterday.
My brother watched it. Soul Eater has
so good.
Soul Eater has kid death.
Death the Kid.
Yeah, Death the Kid. Death the Kid.
The first 3 episodes is like breaking down the characters. And I've never seen an anime do this, which I loved so much.
Yeah.
Is as they introduce the character, they would you would hear this narrator, and it would go, and his name is, and then it would be like,
oh wait, and that one has Excalibur too, right?
Yes.
Excalibur.
I love it. I love it so much.
I'm trying to think of the scene with the butler. I think it also has something to do with like, yeah, because they're trying to solve a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And in the background, the butler's like keeps flipping the knife or whatnot, and has blood.
And then he goes, I think who killed? Yeah. And then Excalibur, the beauty. Not to get too sidetracked, but I mean, of course we can.
Yeah.
So with Soul Eater, great anime for anyone that's interested.
Yep.
Or just interested in a good show. One of the things that's so awesome about the show is they'll take certain fantasies or legends throughout time and kind of incorporate it in one show. Like Greek mythology's in there a little bit, and then you have Excalibur, that would be what would you call it during like the times of chivalry?
I guess that'd just be like
medieval times. Yes,
or Middle Ages. I guess.
Middle Ages, sure. And you have lots of people know the legend of King Arthur.
Yep.
Raises Excalibur out of the stone.
Yep.
And you have this sword, and honestly, like you first meet him within the first few episodes because these characters, Black Star and Death the Kid, they want to find the sword and become great, and they think they're gonna get this all powerful weapon, which in a way he is, but he's really just this hilarious, wise but cocky,
he's just there to have fun, bro.
Sarcastic guy who can turn into a sword, but like he's literally just a guy with a cane. It just kind of goes like fool. Like that's what he says. That's his signature line and phrase. And he'll say, in order to wield me, you must listen to my 1,000 provisions. So he'll say, like, provision number 553, one must walk 3 paces behind me if you're following me. Like, something as dumb as that. And it's so great. And every time people listen to his tale, by the end, they're like, I don't want you.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
To victory and glory. And they're like, all right, you're not worth it. See ya.
You're not worth it.
And they'll just stay in soap until someone pulls them out again. And I was watching. I was watching the show yesterday, and I gotta find this line because it was so cold, Jared. It was so cold. Let me find this. Let me find this. Here's me talking to my friend who put me on, and I said that 51 episodes is criminal. But I want to find this. Oh, okay. This is one crazy bar.
All right. Show.
You've chosen the demon. I can do nothing more for you. What?
That's crazy.
I can do nothing more for you.
That's crazy.
Not even the you've chosen the demon part.
Just I can do nothing more. That's it.
That's cold.
That's on you.
Man.
That's on you.
Dude, it was so good. Guess what I started today, though? Don't know if you've seen it.
What? It couldn't have been Demon Slayer. No, you already watched Demon Slayer.
Love Kimetsu no Yaiba. Let me just say it.
Yes.
Okay. Black Clover.
Really?
Jared.
You are going to be... No, nothing's compared to One Piece. You'll breeze through.
Jared.
Bro, Asta, Wizard King?
Everyone told me.
Yeah.
It said, you've seen One Piece.
Yeah.
You've seen Naruto.
Yeah.
You will love Black Clover. I said, why? They go, just trust me. First episode, I'm going to be the Wizard King. Sold. Jared, I'm sold. Before you came here, I was on the second episode. I had to pause it. I was sold. You have this guy who's like, I'm going to be the Wizard King.
No, I'm telling you, Asta different.
That's what everyone says that.
No, Asta's different.
They say Asta different. That's
like you can compare Asta to Naruto, but like Asta's different. Asta's like literally like okay.
So you've seen the show?
I couldn't finish it. I've seen all of the season 1. I watched it both.
Really?
Yeah, when it was first coming out, I watched it subbed, and then I watched it dubbed. I'm watching it when it came out on Toonami.
And I'm enjoying it right now. I mess with his voice. I like it. But there's just something about...
No, Asta's like Rock Lee if Rock Lee were Naruto.
Yes.
That's the best way I can describe it. Like, if Rock Lee was Naruto, that's what Asta is.
There's something about characters, whether it's in books, whether it's in animes, shows, movies, where when they have a dream, and you see that they truly mean it, and they're willing to sacrifice everything for that dream, there's just something about that really gets someone hooked.
Yeah.
And gets someone wanting to root for them.
Yeah.
Or taking that motivation that they have and
applying it to yourself.
Which is what makes anime so... I think that's the magic in anime.
And some people just don't get that.
And they just don't get it.
They just don't get it.
They overlook it. They look into... They're
like, oh, it's a cartoon.
The Japanese comedy aspects.
Yeah.
And they'll just be like, no. But if you truly are open-minded...
Yeah.
And are truly willing to appreciate art for what it is...
Yeah.
That's just what it does.
Like, a lot of American cartoons just can't do that. Maybe besides, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender, but that's not a fully American cartoon anyway.
Yeah.
But that show was just different.
Yes.
It was just different for its time.
So, I will say this, so I don't act like I'm a liar. I saw Avatar growing up.
Yeah.
Never saw it in order, like start to finish.
Really?
So, after Black Clover, I'm watching Avatar start to finish.
Really?
And I don't remember how it ends. Which is incredible.
That is a journey you need to go on yourself.
I will, and I'll let you know.
I would love.
And then I'll watch Korra after.
Like yeah, Korra. You can watch Korra.
Why'd you say it like that?
Like you don't have to. Like you don't have to. But like I've seen all of Korra.
Yeah.
The fun thing about Korra is how I don't even know if it's a spoiler. It's like every season she just gets shit on, and like
it's kind of how it is though.
That's very true. I can't describe it more than that.
It's she definitely gets rocked.
No, she gets every season. She cannot catch a break.
So I've been watching Boruto as well. I could have easily finished with Jared. I hit a wall. I finally made it throughout the whole Naruto universe.
Yeah.
But there's no more dub. So I'm kind of having like a little like leap problem. It's like, just do it. But it's like, I'm so used to the voices in English.
Yeah, I get it. That happens.
And... I'm going to do it. I'm going to just keep watching. I'll finish the rest in sub. For Bleach, I expected that change. Bleach, I had no problem doing that. But for Naruto, I just love their voices so much in English. And for Boruto, which I love by the way. Don't understand why people crap on Boruto. Those people probably saw the filler episodes. I did not. I watched all the canon. I love it. That's kind of the problem that I've been facing with that. But
yeah.
But when it comes to... Wait. I just totally lost myself in my
Black Clover?
Probably. Just know with Black Clover. Yeah. Back to what you said. I'm going to get through it.
Yep.
I'm going to fly through it.
Yep.
But this is a perfect segue.
Oh, wait. Avatar The Last Airbender, maybe. Perfect segue.
Oh. No, actually, yes, I remember. In Boruto, the reason... Because what you said about Korra.
Yeah.
Boruto.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen Boruto?
I'm not caught up anymore. But I have seen Boruto.
Well, you've seen enough to know... Dude, Sasuke has been getting cooked! He's been getting rocked.
You know what's really funny about that? I've been seeing stuff on YouTube and Instagram about it, and every time I'm like, bro, what are they doing to my boy? Because I don't know what's happening, but I've seen somebody the titles, the headings being like, bro, Sasuke is getting... Where is he? Is he missing right now?
No, he's actually been getting pieced up. Because my problem with the end of Naruto was I didn't like how it ended. I'm not a fan of how I loved I won't say what, but I loved that fight, the fight.
Yeah.
That everyone was waiting for.
Yeah.
But I was not a fan of how the whole thing with Madara was going, which was phenomenal. I thought that was peak.
Yeah.
And then, you make him too strong for his own good? Are we serious?
That's crazy.
Are we actually serious right now?
No, Kishimoto wrote himself into a hole. He was like, I can't kill him. I need to find something. Which is
apparently what happened.
Yeah. He's like, I need to find something to absorb him.
You can't have him win, but he literally should not have lost.
Yeah, exactly.
He would not have lost.
No, like Itachi.
Yes.
Bro. Yeah. Itachi 1v1ing any... That's why Itachi had to die.
Yeah.
Because... He'd be like, oh,
there was
just call Itachi.
And that's why it was beautifully written. Because you have the fact that you have these characters. But I was just thinking to myself, ever since I've been watching Boruto, where they just shouldn't have brought this whole alien thing into it. God. Because now, if they don't go all out, it's not good. They're kind of in a Dragon Ball Z point.
Everything
problem.
Is always like
where it's
end
it's
of
either
the
you
world.
go all in.
Yep.
Or it's not,
or you don't have a story anymore.
Everything else before all in is irrelevant.
Because if any problem they face is never like alien trying to eat the world or blow up the world, it's like a little problem.
Exactly.
You know?
And you know that they can easily just... But now that the fact that this keeps happening...
Yeah.
Which, I'm not fully caught up. I do think I'll read the manga. Because I hear it's really good.
Sasuke keeps getting pieced up.
I hear it's really good. But dude... Boruto and his own... story and saga, that's going to be, I think, I see a lot of potential. But when it comes to Sasuke and Naruto right now, I'm a little perplexed. I'm not going to hold you. But somebody told me this the other day, and they said, imagine if they started Naruto with Lord Fourth.
Okay.
Imagine if they started with him or back to Hashirama.
Yeah.
And that's when it all started. You still call it Naruto.
Yeah.
And then imagine it started back in the 90s. And then, until just now, we're getting to when Naruto's born.
That'd be crazy.
They can still do it. Where they start from the before, and then if they're watching... They could still do it.
You know what that'd be like?
But imagine if they did that.
That'd be calling, episodes 1, 2... Not 1, 2, 3. 4... No, yeah. That'd be like calling episodes 1, 2, 3 of Star Wars Luke. Even though Luke comes in episode 4, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Exactly how it'd be. That'd be crazy.
Wouldn't that be brilliant if they did that? I would love to see that.
That'd be
you see Kakashi's dad, the White Fang.
Yeah.
So much potential there. Don't know if they'll ever do it. I was just thinking about that. But this is a perfect segue back into your book. And I know that you and I have chatted about this just a tiny bit, Jared. Just a tiny bit. Just a little appetizer. But what animes? Because I know by the end of the book, I go, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I knew, honestly, halfway through the book, I was like, that son of a... He's giving me the anime.
He's going to do it. No way he's going to do it.
I was like, there's no way Jared is actually about to do what I think he's going to do. And you did it.
I did.
And you did it.
I did.
You did it, you asshole. You did it.
Yeah. The fact that
it was awesome.
Yeah, the fact that some people who did watch Your Lie in April, that's one of my top 5 anime of all time. Thank you for
putting me on. Beautiful show.
Top 5 anime of all time for me. It didn't start off that way. when I was writing it. As I told you, it was just like, what's gonna happen? But I knew I needed
to somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how
it be an inspiration or.
No, it's like I don't know how should we go into spoilers?
Chat, what do we think? Now imagine.
Because it'd be easier to talk about.
Do you want to? It's your book.
I feel like we might have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
For anybody that hasn't read the book that really wants to.
Yes.
I would somehow fast forward.
Or a timestamp.
Read the book.
Maybe. Yep.
Come back to this.
Also, it has very, very good illustrations.
Yes.
Before like anything spoilery happens, the illustrations in the book are so good. They're so good. Mm-hmm. And like it's all because of Jasmine. Jasmine did me so good. I cannot talk about the book without talking about her, like I say all the time. But like
she did a wonderful job.
Every day I wake up, I appreciate the illustrations that she did for me more and more.
But the way you told me when I texted you after to like see, and you tell me, I won't say it just yet, but you told me this is what they really were.
Yeah. I
was floored.
Yeah.
And it just made so much sense. And the illustrations, I feel like, were perfectly placed.
Yeah.
Everything just lined up so well, man.
It does. And when you, if like now knowing that, if you were to read it a second time, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess this would be the start of spoilers.
Yes.
So
say what happened. Do you want to see what happens in Your Lie in April, or do you want to?
Yeah. So in Your Lie in April, the main character Kosei, he ends up falling in love with this girl named Kaori, right? But she lies to him in the month of April, and I guess I don't need to really say what the lie is, but the point is that she heavily alludes that she does not like him. And oh my god, it's so sad.
Oh.
She alludes, or Kosei just assumes that she doesn't like him because of the things that she would say, right? Although whenever they're together, it'd be like crazy, cute, romantic moments, and it would always leave him perplexed, confused, you know? So she has an illness, which is slowly killing her, and it's very unfortunate. It's really sad because she loves being around her friends, and she loves her life and whatnot, and she also loves playing music. And Kosei also loves playing music. And by the end of the story, you find out that when she was a kid and Kosei was a kid, he hated playing the piano because his mom was forcing him to do it. But when he was playing the piano, she was in the crowd one day, and she fell in love with how he was playing the piano, which inspired her to fall in love with violin and music, right? And from him playing, she learned that you can inspire people through your music. So later in life, when Kosei's still depressed, she ends up finding him, and basically...
And he became tone deaf, by the way.
Yeah, he became tone deaf.
So he actually genuinely, not only did he hate playing, he couldn't even play.
No, he couldn't even play. Yeah. Because that's like how much he learned to hate it.
He had crazy anxiety, too.
So, yeah, it came to a point where she returned the favor by inspiring him again to love music by them playing together. And then also by the end, you learn that she was in love with him the entire time, and she gave him like the love of life back. And it's so adorably, painfully hurtful, but also really cute.
Yeah.
Because he thinks that she does not love her, but he has the fattest crush on her, and she doesn't want him to feel the pain of her being hurt, because she knows she's going to die. So, like, why start it if it's not going to go anywhere?
That would be unfair to him.
Yes, it would be.
Which is true.
Mm-hmm. So, in my story...
oh, my God, you son of a bitch.
So, in my story, Daniel Nick, just regular average kid, which I assume he's, like, average... And it could have been anybody, the way that I like to think about it.
Very relatable character.
Yes.
Like. Very relatable.
The way that I like to think about it is could have been anybody, right? Daniel could have been anyone writing in this diary. And the second main character, or primary main character, depending on how you want to view it, Casey Gardner, she enters his life. She enters his life like nobody's business. And the way that I like to think about it, it's all up to interpretation, even though I'm the author. I don't know at this point.
Yeah.
Is that she decides that she wants to live for herself, and she wants to get the most out of life for her and be unburdened by like everything, right? So she starts dating Daniel, who once again could have been anybody. I just think that he was like right place, right time, maybe. And they end up falling very much so in love with each other. But she ends up in the hospital, and then Daniel finds out that she is going to die. And this whole second half of the story, I think, is just him dealing with that. Because she knew this from the get-go. And that means that she lied about a lot of things for a long time, for at least 2.5 years, you know? And like her whole family lied about it too.
Yep.
Which is crazy to me. Cause I wrote it. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, Mario.
Jared, that is crazy. I know you wrote it, but it is such a good plot. I just can't believe that someone in my generation could do this. So impressive.
Yeah, tying it back to Your Lie in April a little bit. The idea, it wasn't exactly one for one there, but when I realized, so starting off, I knew I wanted Casey to die. Like, from the get-go.
Really?
Yes. I didn't know how she was going to die, but I knew I wanted her to die.
Casey Gardner, she's got to go.
Yes. So, 2 things I knew from the get-go. I knew that Gail had to die, but that was basically because, like, writing for him was hard at the time. But I was like, I got to make his death mean something.
Rough for the kid.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I need Casey Gardner to die. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I know it has to be some type of slow burn, right?
Jared was so slow.
Yeah.
So slow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I didn't necessarily get inspired by Your Lie in April, but it turned into that a little bit.
It felt like it.
By accident, but it was still good. So I was like, oh, damn, this is a little bit like Your Lie in April. How do I make it different? So instead of it just like being dropped on you and then you deal with it, or, instead of being dropped on you and then that's it, right? I was like, okay, well, what if it's told to Daniel and then you watch as the decay happens?
Because the beautiful thing is you milked it beautifully.
Like, you're with him the entire time as he's thinking about it and then thinking about everything, and that you're like, Your Lie in April doesn't do that. And plus, on top of that, my brother, I told him to watch it because I love that show, like top 5 anime of all time. Yeah. He watched it. He didn't get it. And I was like, He
read the book and then watched it?
No, he watched it. He watched it, I think, a year after I did. And I watched it back in 2014. So I told my brother back in like 2015 or so that he should watch Your Lie in April. This book came out in last year, right? I told my brother to watch Your Lie in April, like top 5 anime of all time for me, right? And he was like, yeah, I'll watch it. He watched it. He was like, I didn't get it. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you hurt like I am?
Yeah.
And he was like, I was just waiting. I was waiting for the show to end because I didn't want to watch it. I got bored.
That's crazy.
And I was like, there ain't no way, bro.
The beautiful thing about it, about Your Lie in April, is it's probably definitely very popular in Japan, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But not everyone watches anime.
No.
So you're able to take some inspiration from it.
Yes.
Give a plot to such a good plot from that show.
Yeah.
And kind of sprinkle a little bit of that in here.
Yeah.
Because it just makes for such a beautiful story.
I do like to think that I made it different enough.
You did.
Because I focus on a completely different thing. And plus, there's also no music. And it's also in a diary.
And there's no animation.
Yeah.
No, nothing. Just words.
That was just pictures in your mind.
Yes.
You know? So I do think I did a good job making it different. But I just hurt me that my brother didn't get it. But he said that like this made him tear up. So that means that he didn't get the show, but he got that. So I did a good job with something.
I think in the whole decline stage, towards the end, I feel that most people they know somebody that had a relative or a close one go through something like this, or they themselves have, to where they were able to relate to that. So where it wasn't as, oh, Daniel's watching Casey, it's as if I'm reliving me watching my whoever.
Yeah.
Or this person's whoever.
Yeah.
Which you did such a good job at. Because it's really kind of how it goes. Like, it really is. And I love how you sprinkled in I'm pretty sure it's at the movie theaters where he hands her the soda, or like the thing, cup of soda, and then she drops it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah, I think they're at the mall.
Or wherever it was.
Yeah, wherever it was.
Wherever it was.
I think it was a mall.
You definitely know it. You're the author. My memory's shot.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's just but it's same premise though.
Yeah.
Location might be
She drops.
But yeah, he hands her a thing of soda.
Jasmine drew it too.
And she drops it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where it's it's whatever, shit happens.
Mm-hmm. I be dropping shit. I get it. I drop stuff.
But then once I forget what the second thing happens. I don't know if it was immediately hospital or if it was
piggyback ride.
Yeah,
the piggyback ride. Yeah. Damn, I'm good.
Yeah,
it was for that one. I knew I was cooking with that one. It's the piggyback ride because I'm trying to think specifically. I don't remember if I think Daniel pushes her. Yeah, I think Daniel pushes her.
They're horsing around.
Yeah, they're horsing around. I think Daniel pushes her, and then she falls into like a pile of leaves or whatever. Yep. It's during the fall, and she's like, "Give me a piggyback ride," and he's like, "I'm already wearing your backpack and my backpack."
Yep.
And she's like, "But I'll wear both the backpacks. It'll be so fun because like you get to lift me home." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And then he carries her home, but it's because she couldn't walk that once you give it the second read.
When I was reading it, that was suspect to me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing you... Okay, here's the thing. Knowing you wrote it, I was trying to figure out, okay, what is Jared trying to play here?
The long game.
The
long game is what I'm playing.
I was. After each page I flipped, I'm like... Okay, Jared. Okay. It was one of those things where it's... Yeah, I was trying to figure out where you're trying to go. Because I knew that people got hurt in this book, like by reading the book.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that at the very least. And I go, okay, that doesn't surprise me. Jared loves to get creative with shit.
Yeah.
So when I was reading it, I was trying to figure out, okay, where's the angle? Where's it going to come from?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure that out. But once it was the hospital part, I was like, Jared, you son of a bitch! Mm-hmm. I was so mad. Because it was one of those things where this book... Honestly, if you really want me to sound like a cinema YouTuber breakdown of breaking down your book, it's one of those things where it's, yeah, there's beauty and there's many great aspects to life, but more times than not, it's not fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Mm-hmm.
As good as things may seem, as good as it might feel like it could possibly get, this world can bring you up just to bring you down.
Yep. And
the outside of the book, the cover, and the illustrations really make you feel like, oh, look, it's a nice, like, happy-go-lucky book, happily ever after.
Those words are falling. Those words are falling, Mario.
Jared, they are.
I
didn't realize that.
Really?
I didn't even realize that.
They're falling. Okay. So
shit.
In design of the book, right? I'm telling you, that is a simple design. On the outside,
yes.
Once you read it and then you look at it, this cover hurts you.
So this is more of like a. It seems innocent.
Yeah.
It seems chill.
Yeah.
But really, like, this is deep.
Mario, everything. Okay, so first of all, precarious means it's likely to fall.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's something else the publisher and I talked about. I was like, I feel like the title is so dumb.
Precarious means likely to fall?
Yeah, like...
That's the definition.
That's what precarious means. Something's likely to fall over.
Why did my dumb ass not look up the definition?
My publisher, she actually told me that. I was like, I feel like the cover is so stupid and it has precarious in it, so like, what if people don't know what the word is? And she was like, Jared, first of all, I think the title is perfect because it tells people what they're gonna, like, tells people what to expect if they're paying attention, right? And I was like, yeah, but what about, like, if they don't know the word? And she was like, Jared, you should want fans and readers of the audience you want should be people who either know the word already or they'll see the word and they'll be like, oh, I don't know that word, and then look it up. And I was like,
I should have.
She's cooking with that.
I feel like my mind was just telling me, you know the word. Like, you'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I should have.
No, something's precarious that's likely to fall
Genius,
over.
Jared!
It's a precarious...
Damn!
Precarious Casey Gardner, Mario. And the words are falling if you look at them.
I'm looking.
I'm telling you.
Bastard.
And like you could even argue that the cover is just the sky.
Which that's how I felt it was.
Falling out of the sky, Mario.
Oh, you're an asshole, man.
The second reread, it'd be crazy.
Every
time you read this book,
I cannot wait to hand this to my children and say, good luck.
Every time you read that book, there's something new. Like, I just told you 3 things about the cover. Like, the sky, precarious, and then the words were falling. That's just 3 things. And that's not even talking about the illustrations. Mario, first, page 1.
That region was crazy.
Mario. Mario, page 1. By the end of the book, you learn that Casey's the one who did all the illustrations.
Yes.
There is nothing in the book telling you that Daniel's the one doing the illustrations, but there's nothing in the book telling you that he's not either.
Yes.
So,
and then the whole time I was thinking to myself, is Daniel really doing this? Because I was like, he doesn't seem like the type that would. But I was like, I'm gonna just leave it at how it is.
Yeah.
I have to think about it. I gotta pay attention to the story.
Yeah.
But it hits you. No, and I think you were the one to tell me. Yeah,
I think the second to Casey's last.
No,
line,
but she did say. She said, I'm pretty sure she said, I think
she's like, I left you some poor illustrations in here.
Yes, that, yeah.
And I think that she thinks they're poor because she's having trouble with her hands, you know?
Oh,
well, page 1, technically
so
page 2.
good.
Look, that's her right there. She's looking at you when you open the book. Page 1, she's with you, Mario.
That's so trippy.
Page 1, she's reading this with you.
That is so trippy.
I
love. What was the reason you made him bring the diary to the hospital?
Okay. So, over the course of the story...
Well, did you know that you wanted... You knew the plot. You knew the plot.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a matter of figuring out how to incorporate it.
Oh, yeah. I knew, by the end of part 1, I knew I had to get Casey writing in this diary somehow.
Oh, Jared.
And I was like, how do I get her?
Jared, that's like someone else getting a hold of the Death Note, Jared. Jared, that is so good.
I was like, throughout the entire book, you're same font, same signature, except for one day where he doesn't sign his name. Something new. That's every time you read the book, you're gonna see something new. There's one day that Daniel does not sign his name in this book, because at the end of every single entry, he signs his name.
Yes, he does.
I guess there's 2 times he doesn't sign his name, but yeah. So you go through the whole book, and it's all Daniel all the time, and then you get to May 4th, 2019, and then the font's different, and you're like, and it starts off with Dear Daniel, not Dear Diary, not Dear Journal, and then you're like, wow. And her writing, it doesn't look bad, but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But she writes for a decent, at least 6-7 pages, you know?
6-7 pages of pain, Jared.
Jared, that's what
Jared, when I was reading, I first started. Okay, Jared, when I first read Dear Daniel.
Oh, it's wait, 9 pages. I'll count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Crazy. And then the flowers at the end?
I hate you.
She said,
I love you enjoying this.
I left some poor drawings here. It's in the PS. It's not even in the direct state. It's post statement, Mario. Crazy.
Jared, that's brilliant.
But yeah, I left some poor drawings here and there. Plus, these flowers are for you. Enjoy. In my opinion, men deserve to be given more flowers.
Because the thing is, which you know what's crazy? I feel that we've kind of heard that statement a lot, so many more times. I feel like at CCSU, from many different people that we know, or just I feel like we've kind of been people that kind of promote that, the whole thing. Men deserve their flowers. Yeah. I actually kind of brought that up the other day, where they say men don't get the flowers until they die. Yeah. And that's true. Men do deserve their flowers, which you deserve yours. You deserve a whole garden. Dude, when I was reading and I got to the Dear Daniel part, Jared, I said, no, he did not. I was hurt. Right when that happened, that's when the gangster tears. I was like, I had to take a quick breath. I had to really lock in. And the thing is, too, is she never woke up after she wrote.
No.
After she wrote what she had to say to leave her peace.
Mm-hmm.
So she got to read the whole story, his whole story, his whole diary.
She will never hear what Daniel's counter to her stupid invention was.
Which was, oh my God, dude.
Mario, it was so hard trying to think of like...
Did you cry at all yourself?
When I was writing it?
Or at least feel the pain?
Oh, I felt. Yeah, I felt things. I was like...
You missed it. Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let me give an interpretation. Let me give her the example, or let me give the representation of exactly what Jared did when he was writing these last few pages.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
There's a couple moments I did that exact same thing, right? It was when Daniel is in the grocery store and he comes across Gail's mom and he can't talk.
Oh,
and he can't talk, and she's so nice. She's so nice, and he can't talk because he's like, "Oh my God, I didn't do what I could have done, and I haven't talked to this woman." And like, he used to be over her house all the time, but he hasn't talked to this woman. He hasn't like thought. He's tried not to think about her, but he's thought about her son. But like he was like, "Oh, I'm just never gonna see her again." And then he's like right there in front of his face, and he can't talk.
I bet so many people have had something like that happen to them.
Yeah. So like when I was writing that, I was like, "Oh, that's good. Oh yeah." And then the other moment I had was when it's something Casey. I think it might be one of the last things she says. No, maybe she tells Daniel in the graveyard. That was another good one too. When they go to Gail's grave.
Yes.
And she's like, "I lied." Or like, I hope he wasn't thinking of me in his last moments. That's crazy. That's a crazy thought.
That's why I'm going to ask it just because I texted you this again, and I'll ask you just for the sake of asking.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's any protagonist or antagonist in this story?
I don't think there's any antagonist. I just don't... I know that the two main characters, I don't think they're good. They're definitely not good. I don't think Daniel is like the best, if a good person. Like when Casey and Amelia are fighting over him, he's like,
he kind of liked it. Oh yeah, his ego was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like the best person. But
I think it's high school kids. High school.
That's true. I've gotten that.
Yeah.
And then with Casey, one of the other things this is perfect. They both tie together. With Casey potentially being like a bad person. Bad, quote unquote, bad person. Mm-hmm. And then also, a moment I was like, fuck, that's good, was when I think she's talking to Daniel. I don't remember when it is specifically, but she's like, I felt like such a burden on my parents. This isn't verbatim, but she was like, I felt like such a burden on my parents that when they told me they were having my brother, I was so ready to hate him. In fact, I hated him ever since he was like in my mom's belly. And I was excited and ready to hate him when he was born. And then she was like, he came out and I didn't have like an ounce of hate in my body.
No.
But like, I thought, because she felt like a burden on her parents, that they would get a second chance at a perfect child.
Oh.
That she would feel slighted that they would even do that, you know? But it's understandable. Because like in her position, I'd probably feel the same way, which really sucks, you know? That she was just dealt this hand. And then there's the other moment where, oh God, that one's awful. But I was like, yeah.
I know you were thinking like that too, but I was reading, and I was like, oh, this hurts. But I know Jane was like, oh.
She's losing her memory at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's not specific, like, it's not like illness. It's, she's losing her motor function.
Yeah.
And that's killing her neurons in her brain. And you need those bad boys to remember things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then she can't remember, like, assignments and then teachers. And then she can't remember moments that she had with Daniel. Which is why when she goes back and reads them in the diary, when she's writing, she's like, oh, I remember this day. Oh, this happened? I said that? That's something I would say. Wow, you did that for me? And that's sucks.
That's heartbreaking.
That's really heartbreaking.
Because it's nothing sadder than someone close to you losing the memory of you.
Exactly. Like, something else in the story, do you remember the page that had the 91915?
I don't think I do. I feel like I should. I think if you refresh my memory.
That is, what day? Let me pass that bad boy over here.
Gotcha. Once again, for the record, I promise the people I did read this book.
Yeah. The good old 91915. Yeah, what day was it? Yeah! January 17th, 2019. Yeah, it's a day where Daniel goes over to study at Casey's house. And it's one of her bad moments where she can't remember things. Now remember, this is Casey doing these illustrations.
Okay.
So she's the one writing 91915.
Okay.
And she can't get into the her laptop. And Daniel's like, damn, she can't get into her laptop. And she changed the password, you know? So that means that, like, she can't get into Daniel's laptop. That's what it was. And she changed the password to his laptop. And
she couldn't even remember.
Yeah, I'll read it to you, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is awful.
But you love it, though.
So I'm going to start in the center of the paragraph.
Okay.
The memory ceased to flow once I heard Casey scoff and then ask, Can you tell me what the password to your laptop is? I looked up to see her forehead resting in her hand, an irritated expression on her face. What hurts the most is that she should know the password. She came up with it herself. The password was my name before she wanted to make it cutesy once she started using my laptop as much as I did. Try one more time. I know you know it. I'm sure I do, but I just can't pull it right now, she sternly replied. She'd never gotten an attitude like that with me before, and it made me pause for just a second. I walked over and put in the password, 91915. Casey let out a deep sigh and threw her arms around me. I didn't mean to get upset. This isn't the first time she's gotten tiny stuff like that wrong, and I know it won't be the last. Memories fading always seems like another form of death to me. If all of your memories are gone, all the experiences that shaped your personality, the way you think, the way you see, is someone even still the same person if it's all gone? Losing my memory is one of my greatest fears. Losing feeling in her limbs wasn't enough to bring Casey's spirits down, but losing her memory showed a crack. We didn't study anymore after that. We just sat on my bed as I held her arms.
That part I remember. That final paragraph. So he talks about
she forgot 91915.
Let me see.
And it's
and she wrote it over and over.
Yeah. And I think it's on the next page too, maybe, or the one before that. It's one of the two. Because it's like on the page. Is the page before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the page before, you're like, what are all these weird numbers?
Yeah.
And then the page after, you're like, oh. But on the first read, you don't get that. You're like, why is Dan writing this over and over again?
Shit, Jared.
And then the second read, you're like, wow, that hurts really bad. Because that means that when she was in the hospital bed and she was reading over Daniel's diary, she got there and she was like, oh my God. And she started writing it over and over again so she wouldn't forget.
Oh, Jared. You know what this is also kind of like?
What?
In a way. Not just play spoiler once again for something else.
Mm-hmm.
The new episode, or the final episode of Attack on Titan airs this Saturday, I believe.
I saw the trailer.
I did not, and I don't plan to.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I don't know how it ends, Jared. And I cannot wait to see how this all plays out. Because Attack on Titan is one of the greatest things my eyes have ever witnessed.
It's very true.
And I will have failed as a human being if my children's children and their children and my predecessors don't watch that beautiful creation.
Yeah.
In a way. Do you think you know where I'm going with this?
Memories, future.
A character in the show.
Yeah.
Their future self knew all along this.
Yeah.
Jared, they knew this was all going to happen, Jared.
Yeah.
And as I'm reading this book, do you see what the connection?
Yeah, I see it. I see it now. I see it now.
I don't want to spoil nothing for the people.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Jared, you're.
Yeah, Jared. Mario, like the second read, your first read hit. But your second read, if you were to read this a second time, like in a year, 2 years or so, it's going to hit different. It's going to hit so different. Because you're going to be like, wow. And it's all because of the illustrations. Like, I could not have done this without Jasmine.
Shout out to Jasmine.
Yeah, shout out to Jasmine.
Did such a good job.
She did such a good job. I absolutely love her for that. But yeah, there's tons of little gems in that bad boy to where when you read it a second time, you're going to be like, wow.
I was thinking as I was reading this book, I was thinking to myself, until I finished it, I wasn't as certain. Do you feel like if you were to write another story, not if, but when, future stories, future books, do you feel like any of them could be in the same universe as this book?
I don't think so, because the psychotic part of me wants me to feel like this isn't our universe. Like Daniel's a real person walking around, you know? So
he just like writes in the diary like 20 years from now.
Yeah.
And then he has his own family with somebody else. And then like he's kind of like going through his own shit.
Yeah. Like the way I like to think about it, because I'm a psychopath, is like, oh, Daniel's a real person who exists in our world. Because remember, it's supposed to feel like a real person's diary.
And you were controlling his outcomes.
And I am.
You're a god, Jared.
So like, I feel like I have no plans to make another story in this universe. The way I see it, this was a one and done.
Yeah.
Of course, not
it
like...
felt like that, but I had to ask.
Emily also asked. Emily was like, can I get a diary from like Gail's perspective? And I was like, I feel like it would be kind of short.
Dark.
Yeah.
Dark and short.
I was like, I think it'd be kind of short, but it'd be just over maybe a year. Maybe like 7th grade to 9th grade. Who knows? I didn't think that far. But yeah, I like to assume this one's a one and done.
Yep.
I think it'd be nice to just leave it there, you know? Because you can read... I personally think buying this book one time, you could...
Multi-time use.
Yeah.
Always
with tons of reread value.
For sure.
Because it be hitting different.
It does.
But sure like... what was the other thing I was going to say? Formatting, design, chapter. Oh, yeah. Daniel sees Gail's mom at the shopping mart, and then cannot function, right? And then when it's Oliver, Jessica, Casey, and Daniel at the ice cream place, Oliver's like, how about we call Gail's mom? And Daniel's like, oh. In his brain, he's like, oh, why? And Oliver's like, I do it all the time. And Daniel's like, that fucker.
Yeah.
Of course you do that all the time, making me look bad.
Yep.
But like another way that I think that Daniel's not the best person, because I guess in that situation he made it about him, you know.
To counter the man who literally made this book.
Yeah.
Once again, bringing back that it's high school kids, I will say, growing up, even honestly until COVID, because I lost my grandfather during COVID. He actually had Parkinson's. That's a very tricky one. That's really where you started to lose motor function.
Yeah.
And by the time he was practically out for the count, like he couldn't speak, he didn't do anything, it sucked. But growing up, I handled death and the concept of death, anything that had to do with death, very poorly. And there's no way I was the only one. Where it could have been somebody close to me, like when I was a kid, my grandfather on my dad's side, or a great uncle that I hardly knew, or whoever. When it was time to go to like the wake, or when it was time to talk to people that were related to this person or close to this person, I would kind of turtle up and not want to talk to anybody. And honestly, like there was times where people in my family were on hospice and I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Like my stepdad, I didn't go when he was on hospice. Now, looking back, the right thing is you go and you show up. But it's tough. Like, you know, everyone handles death differently. Like, it's not easy. It's like I'm saying, you know, somebody asked me to go get cotton candy. Like, no, not at all.
Yeah.
But I think that in Daniel's case, it was something where he was so close with Gail. How do you come to terms, or how do you reconcile with the person that created this person you're so close with? You don't know, and you're a kid, and it's never a comfortable thing when you see adults cry. Even to this day, when I see adults cry, I kind of get weirded out, because like they're supposed to be your protectors.
Exactly.
They put on the shield and bear the burden.
Yeah.
And they lead while it's okay for you to weep and cry. At least that's a stigma. And he's a kid in high school. How the hell do I? How do I talk to? How do I do that?
Yeah.
Not saying it was said, but maybe.
Yeah.
That's just kind of because nobody freezes up like that. He froze up because the whole time in the back of his mind, he subconsciously thought, if I just don't talk about this anymore, if I don't think about it, then anything related to Gail or anything, I just won't have to deal with it. Mm-hmm. And that way I'll be okay.
Yeah. Like, it's really bad. Like, it's really bad for him.
And I don't think that's him being an asshole. I just think that's him kind of, like, trying to dodge.
Avoid and deflect.
And avoid, yes.
Yeah. So, the professor who I told you who read my book already, one of the things that she said that she hasn't seen a lot of other books do very well is the concept of, like, paralysis in hard situations. And I think there's maybe like 3 or 4 where Daniel just seizes up, and he of course he's writing in the diary, but so he has to write them like after the fact, you know.
Yep.
So that means that during the time of him writing, he has to relive it just a little bit and then talk about how he's feeling about that. And I guess situations haven't been as severe, but I've had like my own share of paralysis where I've done reflection after the fact and been like, why did I freeze here? Or, oh, I'm not going to freeze next time. And then I do. And I do not feel good about it.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate. But like she said, I guess I also haven't seen many books or movies or TV really deal with like situation paralysis. But that's a real thing. And it's rough because in the moment you don't know what to do, but you also can't stop thinking, you know? So I think that was something I think I did a good job of. And I didn't really know I did a good job of that until people started telling that to me. So that was pretty cool. I think I did that pretty well. But yeah, situation paralysis, that's like, I don't want to say the big conflict of the story, but it's definitely, I think, like the biggest mountain that Daniel has to go over. Because even when Casey and he are at the grave, Casey's like, I hope that I wasn't the last thing Gail was thinking about. And then she's like, oh, did I do my best? Did I do a good job? Was there more I could have done? And Daniel also thinks these things all the time, right? But he doesn't, as far as we know, he doesn't write in the diary what he says back to Casey, if he says anything at all, when she's asking these questions, you know? Because you don't know what he's feeling. I don't know what he's feeling. But, like, it's a very real thing. And I think I'd like to think I did a good job on that. And also,
such a phenomenal job.
Like, during the whole thing of Daniel and Casey being at the grave, I was like, I'm cooking.
Dude, that
was also...
That was
also like a spur of the moment thing. That was not an idea I was building up to. I was like, what if today they just go to Gail's grave? And I was like, yeah. And then I'm like, what do they do there? And then I was like, oh, I know what they do there.
That was so savage of her to say, though.
That was.
She never even needed to say that.
No.
That could have died with her.
Yeah. She, like, but her saying that, it totally recontextualizes part 1 and part 2 and part 3. Because now, you know, she's been holding all this in for that entire time. And she hasn't told, I'd like to assume that diary, that Daniel hasn't told Oliver or Jessica this. But now when you read it again, you're like, oh, during part 1, Gail is talking to Casey in the background this whole time. And
no,
Daniel doesn't know that.
What do you think Gail symbolized?
That is a very good question. I have been asked that kind of before.
He had to be a symbol for something. There's no way his life could just be cruel.
No.
And there's no, like, bright side.
Yeah, no. It's because I know that Gail... So the whole thing with Casey was that she didn't want to be a burden on anyone, right? And we know that with Gail, he also didn't want to be a burden on anyone. But his whole thing, like, up front was, I just want to do it myself, right? And everyone else was like, we can help you. It's no problem. We'll, like, if you need help, we will do that. He was
very prideful. But you can see why.
Yeah, you can see why. And first draft, I told you.
You did.
It was a really quick change. But I think it was like a simple, effective one. For some reason, the closer the release date came for my book, the more I was being like, there's no way people are just going to bully this kid in a wheelchair, right? And I was like, okay, in my brain, me being the author, you can assume whatever you want. me being the author, because I'd like to assume that I know some of the backstory that's not in the book. I know that, like, Gale would sometimes get himself into trouble. I would assume. So that's like my truth of the story, was that sometimes Gale would put himself in the situations that he did.
He didn't seem innocent, because he seemed like he would help fuel the fire.
That's yeah.
Like,
that's
the best way
if
to put it.
somebody
like shoved him, he'd be like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Rather than just staying quiet about it.
Or like,
which is, in a way, I mean, good for him.
Yeah, or if like someone made a dumb joke, he wouldn't be like, haha, or he wouldn't just stay quiet. He'd be like, that was a dumb joke, you idiot.
Yeah, he wasn't a pushover. Which
no, he wasn't.
You gotta respect.
Yeah, so I feel like him just being saddled to a wheelchair all the time, I was like, no, I need to make him more lively, right?
Feisty.
So I was thinking, okay, maybe if he has good days and bad days, right? Because I was like, oh, well, Casey has good days and bad days too towards the end of the story. But what if his good days or bad days are like, some days he can stand up and use like a single crutch, some days he can stand up and use both crutches, and some days, the bad days, he's just in a wheelchair all day because his legs, his brain just can't do it.
I don't know if you ever thought about this or talked about this with people. But the thing with Gale is, whatever was a good day or a bad day, with each page, is literally like the balance and teetering of life and death. Of life and death itself.
That's crazy.
So in a way, like, one crutch was closer to staying. And then wheelchair is like
I never thought about that. I never considered that.
I just thought about that just now, Jared.
That's good.
Shit.
That's good.
Dude.
No, I didn't consider that.
Jared, shit. Jared, what the fuck? Jared, that's crazy.
But yeah, I was like, okay. Well, I mean, if I'm more likely to pick me personally, I'm more likely to pick on a kid with one crutch than pick on a kid in a wheelchair, you know? So I was like, okay, I'll just make it so he has good days and he has bad days. And then I was like, okay, this makes it much more believable. So when things get down and dirty, like when he implodes with his friend group and then Oliver slaps him because he's like, you're not grateful that we tried to help you. And he's like, I told you, just let me do it myself, you know, when he doesn't have to. And mind you, Casey's always in the back like, damn, he's just like me for real. Because remember, she's doing everything herself, not telling people she has this problem because she doesn't want to be a burden like how Gale feels he is, you know? So I guess that he would really symbolize pride.
Yeah.
Pride and or like, I don't want to say lack of restraint.
But you know what? I think pride is perfectly said because, for one, there's many people that are very prideful. I myself can be prideful at times because who isn't?
Exactly.
But the thing with him is, and I feel that this is where we get into mental health, which is why his character is just in a way so realistic.
Yeah. Is
that people... And we're trying like hell to break the stigma these days. But people are too prideful and would rather die and eliminate that problem than to say, I need help. Yeah. I'm not okay. And when you're already in a wheelchair and then you want to say you need help.
Yeah.
That just feels like a double burden.
Yeah.
That you're putting on somebody.
Yeah.
And with his... and it's crazy because like as a joke, a year ago, I was like, yeah, let me play as Gale. But when I was reading it, I genuinely felt like I was able to relate to the guy. Because there would be times where I knew I was being a Debbie Downer. Like, I know I'm being a Debbie Downer. But there's just something in me that just can't fix that.
Yeah.
And when it's time to, like, try and, like, open... people are like, hey, like, what's wrong? Or open up. It's like, no, like, fuck off. When that's... It's like, that's not really what you want to say.
Yeah.
But it's just said. And then you just keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. But
like you know he loves his friends too.
You know he does.
Which sucks.
Depression, man. That's it's a disease.
Yeah.
It's not really. Some people just say, well, like, just stop being depressed. Like, you'll hear that. You'll literally hear that, Jared. You will hear that.
Yeah.
And that's something I can't agree with. Now, if there's certain noticeable things with somebody, I mean, therapy, always go to therapy when in doubt, or talk to somebody, always. But if there's certain things, like, let's say maybe the person's, like, really overweight, they're not working out, they eat like shit, maybe they, like, watch a lot of porn, like, you could just tell, like, here are clear red flags.
Yeah.
And then maybe you just change these things, maybe they'll be okay.
Yeah.
That can happen with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're doing the right things and they're still feeling that way, okay, we have a problem here.
Yeah.
And with Gale, he had a friend group.
Yeah.
He had a friend group. Like, he hung out with them.
Yeah. And, like,
So
as I even wrote, he was the heart of the group.
Yeah.
You know?
So where was the problem? And you hear this all the time, and it's so true. The person that laughs the most or is like,
check on that friend.
Yep. Check on that friend.
Uh-huh.
Please check on me, people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not okay. Nah. It's true, though, man.
It's
true.
I think it's part 1.
He's really just a central guy.
Yeah, I think Casey and Daniel are like the center of the story. Gale's not there for a long time, but he's felt throughout the whole. Yeah,
relevant.
Yeah, I think the last line of part 1 is, "You didn't stop." Let me just read it. Hey, look at me! Wow, look at me go. So I have, Gale thought he got rid of his pain, but he just passed it on to all of us. Now we have to live with it. For me, maybe even some of his anger too. And that's how part 1 ends.
And the thing is, too, is that people, when someone, and you hear this a lot, when people get, or when people end their lives,
mm-hmm.
lots of people closest to them get very angry rather than sad.
Yes,
because they'll in a way say, like, how selfish of you.
Mm-hmm.
How selfish of you to think that if you just take yourself out the picture, that everything will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you fucked everything.
Or like, how could you do that to me?
How could you do that to me?
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
That's how a lot of people get.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with someone that's in the situation. And the thing was, the signs were there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The signs for Gale were there. They were there.
Mm-hmm.
Him pushing people off of him was a cry for help.
Mm-hmm.
A silent cry for help. Which is why it's such a good book.
At that age, what can you do?
When you're in high school, when you're in high school or you're a high schooler, what do they do? When you're in math class and you don't want to be the kid that everyone else is following along and understands what's going on,
mm-hmm.
and the teacher says, "Does anyone have questions?" You don't want to be the kid to raise your hand.
No, you don't. No.
I don't understand what I'm learning right now.
Yeah.
You'd rather suffer in silence.
Exactly. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Because it's embarrassing. Which is, hopefully we can right that ship as well. But that's just how they are.
Do you remember Wade?
He was...
Oh God, I loved writing Wade. I knew exactly who I was...
Who was the character that was always trying to rizz up Casey?
That was Wade.
That was Wade?
Yeah, Wade left the flowers at her door, at her house when she wasn't there.
Yeah,
she was at the hospital.
And then she was telling Daniel, she was like, "Hey, like..."
He's like, "Yo, Wade brought me flowers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you brought me flowers."
Yeah.
And then at the end, she's like, "I got you some flowers."
Yeah,
but yeah, anyway.
Yeah, Wade was that boy.
But when you're first introduced to Wade, he's like, he's like picked up by the lockers. I imagined it that way.
Yeah.
And Daniel's like, "I hate boys." And he was ready to throw hands.
Yeah.
He did not. In my mind, like, he did not care.
He was wearing the Venom suit.
Yeah, he was. In fact, I remember, like, I wrote it and I was like, I gotta dial this back. I was like, yeah, Daniel was like not shoving him to lockers. He's like throwing their head against the lockers.
The way my brain was working when I was reading the book, and people, whenever you read, that's the beauty of reading, is you'll kind of make your own movie in your head you're reading.
Yeah.
So when I was reading, it was as if I was Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing all of the actions, like when he handed Casey the soda and it fell,
mm-hmm.
and I look at our feet, I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
It's the little things, Jared. Yes.
But yeah, because the whole bullying thing with Wade, that's after Gale committed suicide, right?
Yep.
So at this point, Daniel, he hasn't talked about it, not outright.
No.
But like just seeing it makes him furious.
Yep.
Incredibly furious. So he saves Gale. I don't think they were gonna I think they were just like mocking him, not gonna hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
But he saves Gale. I mean, he saves Wade, and then Wade's like, "Hey, you guys can be my buddies," and Daniel's like, "No, you don't. We don't have to be friends." But then Wade like tags onto their group.
Yeah.
And he's the silly one.
He's always just chilling.
He's always just chilling there. Like when they go to Kingdom Come, the amusement park, and he's got the camera. So they're on the Ferris wheel, and you hear every What else did he do that was funny? Oh, he was part of the student government. Yeah, I forgot about that. Sebastian's part of student government, and Sebastian gets Daniel to start smoking, I think.
Yeah. Oh, no,
yeah.
Daniel was definitely big time in the end. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. He definitely drank, too.
I see. What's interesting is that I was like, okay, I'm not going to talk about him smoking, like, ever. He just did it this one time. But then maybe every cut, maybe
you did in a couple excerpts. He would say like maybe I should like go for a smoke.
Yeah. And
so
then
you know he was hooked.
Yeah. In my brain, I was like, he says he's like a group smoker, you know. Yeah. But whenever he's stressed or feeling
he was
bad,
hiding a pack under his pillow. For sure.
Under the pillow is wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when he sees his mom, he's like, oh. When he sees Gail's mom, he's like, oh, I need to go smoke after this. And then there's one day where, they want a ticket for Kingdom Come because they have an extra. Because remember, it's like a group of 3. Well, they're a group of 4 and they have 5 tickets. And everyone's like, who do we bring? And everyone's like, all right, 1, 2, 3. And then everyone's like, Wade. And then Daniel goes, Sebastian. And everyone's like, okay. And then Wade comes. And then Daniel's like, okay, Wade can come. And then you get the... But he's so happy to be there. He's just so happy to be there with his friends.
Yeah.
And then the other time... what's the other time I say he like... Oh! It's when he's trying to like cover up the smoke smell off his clothes. Because he comes... I assume he comes back from like Sebastian's house or something. And he's like... Guys, I realized that if I just like... say my friends were smoking... and I was just around them... then I don't have to come home and change my clothes and have to lie to my parents. Yeah. Because then I'm not lying. I'm just telling them my friends were smoking and the smoke got on my clothes. Because before he's like, yeah, I have to come home and I gotta take my clothes off, get them in the washer and dry before my parents come see.
Yeah, because I was around these dudes smoking.
Yeah, but then he was like, why am I thinking so hard? I can just be like, my friends were smoking and the smoke's in my clothes.
And the smoking started after he won the championship.
Yeah, he did. He won the F out of that championship.
No. But did he really win though, Jared? Did you ever think about that too? That was like peak joy, and then from there it really just kind of.
I don't know. I never thought about it like that. I think that his peak joy.
Wait, when was peak joy?
I want to say it was probably the Ferris wheel. I think that I think going to Kingdom Come with Casey. I think that was peak joy, because I think that after the hospital things just start going downhill. Like real hard.
The first hospital visit.
Yeah, first hospital visit. Where that's another thing about me. So I've learned that hospital Jell-O tastes different than like regular Jell-O. And like,
how'd you know this?
My brother used to be in the hospital like he had really bad asthma. So he'd be in the hospital like all the time, maybe like once every 2 weeks or so, right? But he'd always be in there for maybe like 3 days at a time if he ever did go, right? So during that time when we would go visit him, we would have hospital Jell-O. And like, I can't describe to you the taste of hospital Jell-O, but it's different. It's not like regular Jell-O. I don't know how it's different, but it is. And Casey's in the hospital all the time, and she loves hospital Jell-O because that's just what she's gotten used to. So I was like, that'd be so cute, but so sad to put that in the story.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that those who know like hospital Jell-O, they get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she loves hospital Jell-O.
They're probably that going, oh, it's so sad.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm figuring that like people who do read it, they're like, wow, that's so sad.
Shit.
But the hospital Jell-O thing, that's like those out there who get it, they get it. They'll be like, I get it with the hospital Jell-O.
Oh, the hospital Jell-O.
But yeah, she's often in hospitals.
Is that what we should have for the cover photo? Hospital Jell-O.
That'd be a really funny idea.
Yeah, whatever you want. We could probably just do the book again. Whatever you want.
With I didn't think that far actually. I'm trying to think of what else happens. Oh yeah, the picture with her dad. Oh, that was so sad. God, I was like, fuck yeah.
I love that. I wish you had a camera on you for each part when you were writing. Oh, that would have been so
Jasmine
good.
in her illustration of Casey's dad, when he's like, oh, can you hand me the thing? And then he's like, bro, what's wrong with you? And then she's like, I'm trying. He's like, what do you mean you're trying?
Yep.
And she's like, my arm won't raise. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, how long has it been like this? And she's been like, I don't know, like 3 months. And he's like, 3 months? And you haven't told anybody? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, that's so sad. Because she's just been silent about it. Because I guess she's like, oh, I guess everyone goes through this. But they do not. They do not, young one. So yeah, I like that. That was a good scene. I also really did. Oh, I told you before, where she forgets the 91915. I'm not gonna tell you what that's a reference to because that's a whole other reread thing.
Shit.
But it's in the book. It's a reference. But like she forgets and then she gets mad, and then it's before that where she's at the dinner table with her mom. It's her mom and Daniel. They're downstairs. Because it leads her into going upstairs. Oh, that's so sad. Why would I do that? That's crazy. So
I love how you're just analyzing all this in your head.
Yeah, so she's downstairs and her and Daniel are doing work on the study day. And then he's like, no, you have work from this teacher, that teacher, that teacher. And she's like, who? And he's like, okay, what teachers do you remember having?
Yep.
And she's like, this teacher, that teacher, that teacher, and that teacher. And he's like 1 out of 4 of those were right. But he doesn't tell her that.
Yep.
And he's like, well, we have other stuff to do. And then she's like, no, I got it. I'll remember. And she's trying her best to remember. And she can't do it. And then she gets frustrated and goes upstairs.
Yep.
And then I think her mom was also in the kitchen watching. And then she starts crying.
Yep.
After Casey runs upstairs. And then Daniel's like, well, this sucks. And then he goes upstairs. And then she can't remember the password. And then it's just worse from there. But I remember for that one, Daniel's like, for someone who's always so happy all the time or seemingly so happy, like I know that she knows that she's sick and she knows that she's sick, but this is the first time I've seen like a crack in her armor where it's like totally affecting her. Like what he wrote was, yeah, her loss of motor skills is like one thing, but the memory, that's the first time I've seen her crack with something like this, you know? So yeah, that sucks, but I wrote it, so
that you did.
It was so not only does it suck, but it's good.
Do you think when it comes to future books, there's certain genres you want to hit and tap into? I feel like you could write a damn good horror book, Jared.
Mario, let me okay.
I feel like you could write a book so good that is so scary, where you hit the laptop with the. I totally feel like you could. With this book, Jared, I bet when you were damn near close to finishing this book, you were laying in bed, like picturing it all play out in your head, and you're just sleeping, glasses off to the side, and you're just like, oh yeah, in your sleep. The facial expressions.
There's one story. I have no issue sharing the story to the internet, right?
Okay.
I think it's such a good idea. It's not a horror story, but it's a murder mystery, right? Okay. But they're on Mars.
A murder mystery on Mars.
Yep.
It kind of rolls off the tongue.
This is where I wait for the money to roll in.
Why on Mars?
Whoa, let me tell you. I thought of this pitch meeting so often because I think it'd be such a good idea, right? Yeah. So, the people they're astronauts, right? And to be an astronaut, you have to be like pretty smart. You have to be like an engineer, a pilot. You have to be good at math. You have to be good at science, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they have to be like tip-top people because they're going to colonize Mars, like the first people ever. So they need to have like a gardener, a chef, an athletics person.
Shit,
they need to have like someone who's good at engineering, someone who's good at like wood shopping, woodcraft, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
So they're all astronauts. They're all really smart people. They're all really fit people.
Yeah.
Right? But they're all alone on Mars. And then one day, whoever a character is going to be is going to find a dead body. And they're going to be like, that's not supposed to happen. Right? So the way I think about it is they sent out a first shipment, like a first crew, maybe of like 5, 6 people to get everything set up for the colonization, right?
Yep.
And then on the second ship that comes, maybe 12 more people come. Maybe not 12. That's a big number.
It's starting to load up.
Maybe like 9, 10 more people come, right?
Follow. Yep.
So now maybe there's 13, 14 people in total.
I'm already hooked.
And remember, they're on Mars.
They're on Mars.
For anyone to come get them, it's going to take like years. Yeah. It's going to take like years for someone to come check on them.
Oh my God.
So why would you send anyone to check on them, you know? And then on top of that, communications are going to get cut. Because why wouldn't they get cut? It's a murder mystery now, right?
Yeah.
You can't just call back to Mother Base now, to Mother Earth, be like, yo, There's a murder mystery happening.
Oh my god, Off the Grid on Mars is crazy.
Exactly. And remember, they're trying to establish like a new civilization. So they don't have a lot. They're just trying to start a garden. They're trying to start like making a kitchen.
I would read this book.
This is like, I would read this too.
Make it happen.
I think it's such a good idea to have all these smart people who have, I guess they have like all the resources, but nothing built for stability yet, right?
You know, as the murder mystery is going on, go into like backstories a little bit with each character.
Oh, each character? That'd be so good.
Just so it's like, you pray one of them doesn't go, and they're like, no!
Yeah.
This person had shit to do!
Mario,
they were on Mars with a purpose!
Yeah, they were on Mars with a purpose! Like, oh, they were going to start a new life. They were a war vet. They had nothing going for them, and now they came here, and they better still be alive. Yeah. I think it's such a good idea.
Yeah.
I think I could do it. Because, like, it's Mario. It's a murder mystery,
Jared,
but it's on Mars. But it's on Mars. That's it.
You should have this written and queue it up by the time, Jared, we will be on Mars at some point before we die.
You're probably right. You're most definitely right.
When it's close to that point, when like SpaceX is kind of tweeting about it a lot, and like things are happening, you drop a book
about a murder mystery on Mars.
Perfect marketing play,
bro. No one's gonna want either. Everyone's gonna want to go, or no one's gonna want to go. It's one of the two. But, like, I have no issue explaining and telling people this idea because, like, I don't think anyone's going to write this better than me. No one's going to write this better than me. That's why I'm not scared.
Knowing you and the fact you already seem so passionate about it.
I'm so excited. I think it's, like, the dumbest, smartest idea ever.
Do you have a bulletin board or, like, a list of title names and, like, future things you can possibly do?
It's in my Google Docs. I have a folder called Writing, right? And in that folder, you open it, and then there's, like, 30 different story ideas that I have, and in those folders there's more like lines and ideas and scenes that I want to write in each story. Will I ever get to every single one of them? Probably not, but I mean, like, I could probably sell some story ideas maybe one day. Who knows? I know I at least want to write at least 2 more stories. I guess 4 now with that murder mystery, but like murder mystery on Mars, Mario. I'm glad you asked me. Why Mars?
Why
Mars? Yeah. Because now you're sold. I'm sold. And, like, not only would I read this book, I would watch this movie.
I would too.
Because, like, imagine trying to solve a murder mystery when you're trying to, like, grow potatoes. You don't have time for this,
I'm
Mario.
Trying to figure out what is the motive. Why?
I know,
and
right?
Imagine it's none of them. There's an alien. Boom.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Another plot twist.
That'd be crazy. I didn't even think about that. Oh, that's crazy.
Or you have Mario the Martian. Boom. Cooks all of them. Imagine. No, but I will say... I will say this wholeheartedly. The fact that you said, I'm going to write a book, or I'm already writing a book, it's almost done, and then you make it happen, really makes me want to, because obviously you know me, and I've talked about this, how I want to kind of be a blueprint to my kids, to where when they feel lost, they can just look back upon the dad archives and like be like, oh
yeah.
So shit, like things like that. And the fact that you said I want to do this and made it happen, I will say, I really feel like I want to put on my bucket list, write a book.
That is incredibly amazing. That is the coolest thing ever to hear.
The fact that you said you were already doing it and you did it.
Yeah. Even
if I never made it come to fruition, where I just kind of wrote a plot, somehow came up with the plot and wrote it down, and even if it never got made, the fact just write and make something start from nothing and come to life. I think that's a beautiful thing.
That's what I write about in my About the Author. I think one of the things I write is like, if you have an idea, put it out there.
Yeah.
Because even if it doesn't tick off for you, like big scale, it might inspire someone else to do something better or just as good or incredibly astronomical, astronomical, I guess. Yeah. Because I don't know, I've thought about it for the past 2 or 3 years, kind of like just something I thought about trying to become a teacher. If I do absolutely nothing with my life, right, I think it's cool to be like, oh, I met this student when they were doing this, or like, oh, I said this one thing and they remember that for the rest of their lives. Like, I think if my life were a small blip in someone else's big picture, I think that would be really cool.
That's incredible.
I
this
feel
is
like
forever.
Yeah, that's forever.
Words will forever live on now because
that's true.
You made it into a physical being.
I know,
or not being, but like you know what I mean.
Like it's tangible.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yes. That is so cool.
That is really cool.
Whenever I watch shows of and and one of the actors in the show passed away, but I see the show.
They're like forever immortalized on there.
I feel like their soul is kind of
still
constantly
alive.
being brought back to life through the film, like Tony Soprano and The Sopranos.
Yeah,
James Gandolfini passed away years ago, but everyone watches The Sopranos. So in a way, it's as if he's still alive.
Or like Robin Williams.
Yeah, I saw Dead Poet Society for the first time a month ago. Very good movie. A big fan of him and Jumanji growing up. I loved that movie. Night at the Museum, Good Will Hunting. Come on.
I don't know if you ever watched Hook. Have you seen Hook before?
Dude, no.
That's one of my top 10 movies of all time.
Really?
Yes. I love,
he plays as Captain Hook? Does he play as Captain Hook?
He plays as Peter Pan.
Robin Williams
plays Peter Pan.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he does
not. That grown-ass man plays Peter Pan.
As a grown man?
Yes, because the whole concept of Hook is that it's a sequel to Peter Pan, which it was another live-action movie.
Is it when they're, like, much older?
Yes. So the whole point of the movie is, with Hook made a promise to Peter Pan that unless Hook ever gets his revenge on Peter Pan, he will go after his children and his children's children and his children's children's children until he gets Peter Pan, right?
Oh my gosh.
And by this point,
so they're old, still duking it out.
Yeah, no. Well, Peter, he actually left Neverland to go enjoy a life with Wendy.
Wow.
Right? Because he was like, I think growing up is an important part of life.
Yeah.
I should grow up, right? But Hook's still on Neverland, and he's waiting for Peter Pan to come back, and he never does. So Hook's like, I'm going to go to you.
That's crazy.
And steal your kids, steal Peter Pan's kids, and make you come to me.
That beef is crazy.
But by this time, because Peter's older, he doesn't remember Peter Pan.
Top 10 movie, you say?
Yes. Like,
it's that good?
Yes. Like, Peter Pan, because he's older, he doesn't remember Neverland as being like a real thing, because that's like a fairy tale children's story. It's just something that he sees in his dreams, right? So he's like, oh, it's not real. But Hook comes to the real world, steals Peter Pan's kids, and then he's like, come get your kids from me. I want to fight you one-on-one. So then Peter, he goes back to Neverland, and Hook's like, fight me. And he's like, no, I'll write you a check. Like, I'll give you money. Just give me my kids back. And Hook's like, I don't want your money. I want Peter Pan. And he's like, Peter Pan's not real. I don't know who Peter Pan is. My name is Peter Panning. Right?
Crazy.
And Hook's like, this idiot, this idiot's an idiot. And then he's like, I want to fight Peter Pan. Come back in like a week. If you're not Peter Pan, I'm going to kill your kids. Or like take your kids. Something like that. So Peter Pan, he gets thrown off the boat. And then both of his kids stay with Captain Hook. And then his son, Peter Pan's son, he ends up like warming up to Hook, because Hook is like, I'll always be there for you, unlike your father. I'll go to all your baseball games. I'll make sure that you always have like the love from a father that you get. But Peter Pan's daughter, she remembers what it's like having like a mom and a dad. So she's like holding steadfast, right? But his son is slipping. So over the course of the movie, the Lost Boys, you know, Dante, oh, you didn't watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Dante Bosco voices Zuko.
Okay.
Before he voiced Zuko, he was another Lost Boy called Rufio. So Rufio is Peter Pan when Peter Pan isn't there. Basically, Rufio is like Peter Pan's number one general, right? But Peter Pan's been gone for so long that Rufio has just become Peter Pan at this point, right? So he has a sword, he crows like him, everyone looks to Rufio as Peter Pan. So he's like, you want me to teach you how to be Peter Pan? You're a bag of skin and dookie. And he's like, well, that's me. So basically they have to teach Peter Panning how to become a Lost Boy again. And then by the end of the movie, it's so good. Mario, it's so good. It's such a good movie.
You had the same passion when you told me about Your Lie in April. I trust your judgment.
Mario, like I love telling stories, right? Mm-hmm. I like talking. I like sharing funny stories. I like things like that. For some reason, I remember my media really well. I can remember like off-scene things from Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, Hook, as I just told you. I haven't seen Hook in like years. I can remember almost everything about Hook. Coraline, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Coraline, what a freaking movie.
Yeah, that's one of my top 5 movies of all time. But like I could, for some reason, if it's a story, if it's a TV show, if it's a movie, I can remember a lot of it very well. And it could be because I overanalyze them.
Yeah.
Like I love SpongeBob. I can quote to you so many SpongeBob quotes and so many SpongeBob jokes. Same thing with Fairly Odd Parents. Danny Phantom. I haven't watched Danny Phantom in like years.
Great show.
But like,
I was thinking about rewatching Jimmy Neutron recently.
That's a good pick.
Watching Jimmy and the Fairly Odd Parents, and then the crossover.
Oh, and then the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to think of the name of... They don't call him Eugene. They call him, like... His name is something stupid, but I remember they make him adaptable and not adoptable. So he becomes really strong because he keeps adapting to things. I can't think of his name, but I can remember his voice. But yeah, I remember a lot of stories really well.
Yep.
So it's probably why I like writing stories and coming up with my own.
Probably.
But it's just...
That's kind of why I'm low-key getting the itch, too.
It's just...
Because I love me a good story, man.
Yeah, me too!
I love... You're right.
Mario,
Sharing
a good
stories.
a good story can change your life. And, like, to change someone's perspective, you just need to have a good argument. You can stop wars by having a good argument. Because, like, the power of words is so strong. I could punch you in the face, but if I call you something mean, you'll think about that. You'll think about that for a very long time. Mario, I got into an argument, like, 3 days ago. I'm still thinking about it.
Really?
I'm still thinking about it. It's still bothering me just a little bit.
What about Sticks and Stones?
No, that's fake. Whoever thought of that was a liar.
Really?
I'm telling you. Whoever thought of that was a liar.
Is that what we were taking away from this lesson today?
Yes. Moral of the story is sticks and stones, yeah, they'll break your bones. Words hurt more, though. Words hurt much more. For sure.
IG note.
Oh, yeah.
Words hurt more than Sticks and Stones.
For sure. Yeah, words be...
In this generation,
they hurt real bad.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
You are probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Like, I'm fine with Billy down the street beating me up. But, like, if Billy tells me, like, my nose is big or something like that, like, I can't change my nose, you know? I gotta live with that. Maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that he said that means that other people probably think that, too. That's how compliments work.
Yeah.
If someone compliments you on your shirt, odds are other people think that they like your shirt. Because people say compliments for one of two reasons. They either really do like it, or they don't. But odds are if they don't like it, they just won't say anything. Because if they don't like it, why would they tell you that they do like it?
Right. Maybe to gas you up because they plan on bringing you down somehow.
Hey, Mario. Hey, Mario, I like your shoes. Really? No. Oh.
In a nutshell. You know what's so funny? Totally random, but my brother... So, this whole... Jared, I will say, since the last time we talked, at least on the pod, I've been thinking about what my love language is. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I was really thinking about them. I don't know if you know what they are.
Yeah, I know what they are.
Okay.
I'm acts of service, for sure.
Really?
Yes.
It's a good one.
I think it's quite good.
It's good. It's a very good one. I definitely think gifts is the way. If yours is gifts, you might have a problem. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I bought you a $500 chain. Oh, I love you so much. That's kind of not. That's a little overblown, but
yeah.
So I've been trying to figure that out. I have a feeling mine might be words.
Mm-hmm. Words of affirmation.
Because I'm someone that can very easily like not go back on my word, but like I'll say something and then like if I don't get like the confirmation, I'll be like, oh, never mind, like forget I said that. Mm-hmm. Just very unsure of myself, and it's very hard to like trust someone these days and know like the trust will stay, and then overnight like it's just over.
Yeah.
Because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
In this generation, so it's very hard to trust someone at least that you would like to love. And I think that's a good one. But so I've been trying to figure it out though. I think it's what I don't know yet for sure though. And I was talking to my brother and he goes, "Yeah, mine's definitely words of affirmation." And my sister-in-law, he goes, "Hers is acts of service." I go, "Really?" So if you wash the dishes and she says good job, you're both happy. He's like, "Yeah." So, I don't know why. I just think that's hilarious because he goes, he goes, for me, whenever I get told good job, he goes, as corny as it sounds, it just kind of like reinsures that
you're doing something good.
Doing the right things.
Yeah.
And that I'm appreciated for doing good things. Because as corny as it sounds, it's just how I work. I go, word. So you do the dishes, she tells you good job, like it's a beautiful circle.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I go, wow. It's very interesting.
If it works, it works.
It works. So I just thought that was one thing. But that was something that I thought was interesting. Another thing I actually had written down for you. Let me see. I don't think it was about the book. I think it was just things I wanted to touch base on.
Yeah. Because
I feel like it deserved to be talked about.
Oh, real quick, you did say that you enjoyed Daniel and Casey's relationship.
Beautiful.
I appreciate that.
Beautiful. It was so beautifully written.
There were some times where I was like, am I just doing this over again? Or a time where I was like, it's like,
no, it genuinely
whatever.
seemed like that. If what didn't happen happened, they were gonna rock it.
I think they would have like went through college, maybe even marriage. I don't know.
I definitely think it would have lasted till college.
I think they for sure
if they broken up, they broken up. But I definitely think it would have made it to college.
Yeah.
And if we can make it to college,
that's true. That is a big leap.
Yeah, but I definitely think if we're gonna continue the book without continuing the book,
yeah,
I definitely think Daniel
fan fiction, Mario,
right? And I definitely think Daniel has his own family, and it's just it's something he'll just look back upon. I'm like, damn, just a crazy damn moment. Where his kids one day talk to him, like just having like a light heart-to-heart talk about love and stuff, and then he's like, don't tell your mother this. But there was this one girl, and then boom,
because the whole
kind of like a How I Met Your Mother.
One of the cool things about the book, I guess, is that Daniel says that he's just writing in it to like let off steam.
Yeah,
he has no intention of ever going back and reading his entries. He's just writing in it to write and just think, So, on the off chance that he would ever really go back and read the diary, exactly, it's all there. But does he like want to think about it?
Can't.
I don't know.
If that was you, would you? I couldn't. I would definitely want to keep it.
Yeah,
but you can't reread that.
No,
you can't.
No,
that would be traumatizing.
Yeah, I think that would hurt.
That would hurt.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
But like Casey is forever in this thing, never to be forgotten. I guess like her life is in here.
Yeah.
And she I guess if Daniel would ever want to visit her, then she would be in here, literally. Like on the first page, she's right there, courtesy Jasmine. She's right there. Oh, that would hurt if I were him. I'd just shut it right there, actually. I'd probably just be like, all right, that was good. And then I'd be done.
Let me see. What is your advice to anyone trying to write a book?
Ooh, that's also another very good one. You're going to hit low moments when you're writing a book. If you get over them, you are going to feel on top of the world. Also, when you write a book, you have to think of the audience. You need to reward them for staying with you. I think that's a very good system when you write a book. If there's ever a low moment or if there's ever anything you don't feel confident about, you need to reward your audience with something cool that they want to see. Maybe if they want two characters to fight, maybe you have them fight. If there's a conversation you want.
How do you know that that's what they want, though?
Well, when I read a book or when I watch like an anime or a TV show, I don't want to see the boring parts. And if I do see the boring, okay, like this.
The dialogue.
Like, you watch Naruto. You saw Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, right?
Of course.
Okay, perfect. Well, like, you saw Naruto. No, what's a good one? Yeah, you saw Sasuke fight Itachi. You saw Jiraiya fight Pain. Mm-hmm. And then you saw Naruto train with Mount Myoboku for X amount of time. Yep. But, like, you didn't have to see that.
Summoning Jutsu.
But then you see Naruto fight Pain for, like, 6 episodes, I think. And it's straight fire. Incredible. And then you see him get rewarded. The whole village, they love him now. And they hated him. They hated that MF. They hated that MF. But, he saves the village, even though it's, like, destroyed. But it's not destroyed. So they love him after that.
Yeah.
What's another good one? Where, like, expectations...
Are you saying try to keep the book as... Where you feel as entertained in those moments? Like, you want that to be the book?
Like, I guess in the context of the book, right? You said that you got to part 1, and then you were like, what's going to happen next? So, every time I wrote the book, I always, like, Kingdom Come, when they go to the amusement park, I was like, this would be a reward for the reader. Because I think it's like a decent chunk, but I think it's funny. I think it's really cute. I think it adds to the story. I think it also develops the characters a lot. Plus, you learn more about Casey. You learn more about Daniel, right? What's another good one? The day they go to prom. Junior prom, where Casey has, like, the big fall in front of everybody, right? That's a really big moment, because that's Casey, like, publicly falling down in front of people. And then she can't really explain why in the moment, but she's trying to play it off, And then she can't. and then she passes out, if I remember correctly. Another good one is, where else is in there? Where I was like, oh, they need a reward. Oh, going to his, Gale's gravestone. Because I remember that, like, leading up to there, I tried to think of ways to fill for part 4. Because I feel like if I wanted to, part 4 could have been, like, 4 entries. But I was like, that's not good enough for the reader. Because they've been with me for so long, they need to be rewarded for something, right? The whole idea is that if you're with me long enough, I should be able to do whatever I want with you, and then you're still entertained when you're writing a book, right? So I got to make that ride as entertaining as I can, but also make you feel like you're getting something out of it. Getting something good, like an illustration. Like, illustration is also a really good example. Or just interesting, good parts in the book. But yeah, I think that's some of the advice I'd say.
Is there a certain age group or range that you feel like you're pretty... Oh, what?
You see My Hero Academia, right?
On my list.
Oh, that would have been so perfect. I was going to
watch it before Black Clover, but people were saying, Mario, you've seen Naruto.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
But I'm getting there. I promise you.
My Hero Academia is like the perfect example because you be getting fights that you don't even know you want to see.
I hear the fights are crazy.
The fights are crazy in that show.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan. Like, everything's a reward in that show. Everything.
Just even saying the name is a reward. I love it.
But yeah, it rewards you for watching the show and paying attention.
Do you feel like there's any age group or range that you feel like you're predicated towards? Or are you just going to kind of, like, whatever book I make, that's the book I make?
Kind of yes and no. So, like, the genre of young adult, it's a fairly new genre of story because there's a lot of definitions for what young adult is, you know? Some people are like, oh, that's 20s to 30s. Some are like, oh, it's like from 18 to 25.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, well, that's from 14 to 21, you know? But, like, because it's such a complicated genre, you can also win a lot of rewards in that genre. There's a lot of book rewards. There's a lot of book rewards you can get for something. So if you try and make your range as broad as possible, it's likely that one day one of my books might fall under one and get nominated for one. But the next book that comes out is going to be more adult, for sure. Because the idea has to be more adult. And I think it's a really good idea, too. I'll disclose after the video. This is the one I don't want to share. Because I think it's an original idea. I think it's going to be so good. I would also love to see this as a movie. I think I told you already, maybe, at the rec center. I think I did. Strapped to a chair.
I don't think you did.
All right. Then you're gonna love this one. If you like Murder Mystery on Mars, just wait till you hear about this one.
God.
But yeah, I think I'd gear more towards young adult. I think because you can do a lot more with young adult, like fantasy, Hunger Games, Twilight. Those things get Harry Potter. Those things get real popular really fast. You don't really hear about most adult books getting popular like that unless they're like by Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Or Obama.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I could do young adult pretty well. Plus, I'm a young adult right now. And interestingly enough, not a lot of young adults write young adult stories. Usually it's adults writing young adult stories.
True.
And I think I'm a young adult doing that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my answer for that one.
Are there any future goals that you have aside from writing another book?
Actually, I'm learning sign language right now. I think I'm, like, pretty decent. I've been learning the past month. What was the middle one?
Nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah, nice to meet you. So then I'd be like... I was trying to sign, but also have it in my face. But then I was like, I don't need this in my face because I'm not going to talk anyway. So then I didn't know what to do.
That's great.
But yeah, so then I can be like, hi. I can be like, this is hi. This is hello specifically. And then I can go, are you deaf? I also have to start working on
Isn't this like yes?
Yes. This is yes. This is no. This is good. This is bad.
And this is fuck you.
That's right. That's fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also something on my bucket list I'd love to learn. Because just in A Quiet Place really had you thinking about it.
Bro, it did. And I watched that so many years ago, but like...
Yeah, it really makes you think.
More movies are having more sign language and deaf people in them. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I would just want to learn. Plus, I've always been interested. But like, I learned a really good one the other day. Oh yeah, this is perfect. So I learned to learn the other day. Right? So this is the sign for sign. Mm-hmm. Not forwards, it's backwards for sign. So I learned that the sign for learn is this.
That I think I know.
That's so cool.
It is.
Because like it's like I'm picking it up and then putting it in my head. Yeah. And then this is understand right here. Yep. It's like a light bulb. Mm-hmm. Like ding. And then this is just no.
Well, have you been taking YouTube classes or anything?
Nope. I have one of my TT's daughters is deaf. So I've been trying to practice with her for a little bit. She's like 12 at this point, I think. And then also I just got an app. And I've been using it for like the past month or so.
What's it called?
Lingvano. I'll show you.
Word.
But I love it. It's really fun.
I wanna. Word. Is it free or no? $5 a month.
First week is free. You get a free trial.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth it. I've been learning a lot.
I definitely want to refine my Spanish.
Yeah.
I want to learn Japanese so bad.
That's a good pick.
So bad.
Can you imagine the power you'd have if you just didn't have to like turn on the subs when you were watching anime? Different league. You'd be in a different league by that point, Mario. That means that you could like leave the room when you're watching subbed anime. You can't do that.
That is pretty hard.
You cannot make a sandwich and watch subbed anime at the same time.
It's true.
Yeah.
I was taking Duolingo classes for a little bit, like Duolingo lessons.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah.
For a little bit, and I was cooking. I was cooking.
You were hitting them dailies?
Oh yeah. Gohan.
Uh-huh.
Rice.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Miso is water, I'm pretty sure. Not miso soup.
I don't know. You're right to me.
Pretty sure.
You are absolutely right to me.
Oh my gosh, it's one of those things where you have to have the words in front of you and then just match it. You just know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. But yeah, I would definitely. I gotta. You know, I gotta start planning out my weeks. Like on this day, I'm doing this, and this hour, I gotta start doing that. That's something I need to work on. I know I do. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the beauty of doing something like the 75 hard, is you kind of know. Like
that's true.
You're like, okay, I at least know I can discipline myself.
Yep.
And stay true to something.
Yep.
So now it's not working out. Like that's not even up for discussion anymore. Like that's what I do.
That's disciplined. Yeah, that's what
I do.
That's disciplined.
So now it's what else can I add to the table. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where we're at. A couple more things I want to ask you.
Of course.
Then we can get into the end, and then I'll get you out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played Spider-Man yet?
Yeah.
400%?
No, I'm 53% through.
Finish the main story?
No, not yet. I can tell you where I am though. Did you play?
100% of it.
Oh, you're done.
No life, dude.
All right, so
it was so good.
I just finished punching Connors in the face as Croc, as the wizard. So
crazy fight.
It was crazy good.
Crazy fight,
bro. He was like mad.
Crazy chase sequence.
Yeah, bro. Peter was like, "Oh, you're probably just not strong enough to resist the wizard, are you?" After he was like, "We can help." He's like, he flipped that 180.
Yeah.
He was like, "I'm just gonna punch you in the face." Oh my god. After Connors is like, "We got this from a spaceship," and then he's like, "You got to take it off. It's gonna hurt you or something like that." And he's like, "Hurt us?" And I was like, "Oh no, he's gone. He already said us." And then when you leave, he's on the rooftop and he talks to Mary Jane, and she's like, "Why are you so aggressive?" He's like, "I'm not. What are you talking about?" And then she's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna keep working on my article." And then he's like, "Let's go see who we can save." I was like, "No, he's gone. It's over. It's over."
I knew the suit was in the game.
Yeah.
But I didn't look into anything, and I didn't like want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to keep it to myself. I'm assuming you're the same way. Don't want to know unless you do.
Yeah, I know. I know. I don't know anything.
You are text me when you finish the game. Text Jared. It is so good.
All right.
It was worth everything.
When the opening happened and you were fighting Sandman, I was like, they got money, bro. The particle effects. That they must have.
They were cooking.
They were cooking. Intro. Yeah, they were.
That was incredible.
That was when I knew they had money.
Yeah.
I was like, they got money this time.
The game after Sandman, I was like, this game's like, where are they going with this?
Mm-hmm.
But once the The symbiote?
Mm-hmm.
Let me not.
Mm-hmm.
Let me not, Jared. Wait, because that means you got to the zoo.
Yeah.
After the whole zoo with MJ, I'm not gonna. I loved the tasing thing. I was having so much fun.
I didn't have an issue with it.
I was running up on everyone tasing them. No, I'd like sprint at
even the ones you didn't have to.
No,
you were taking out everybody.
Everybody. But once you get, they say this, once you get to the zoo, it all goes.
The game's different.
It's like, oh, this is good. This is good. Lizard, Jared.
Bro, Mario, right now, I'm like, why is Miles even here? I'm having so much fun. As Peter with the black suit. I feel like a menace.
Yeah.
Bro, when stopping street crimes, I feel like the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the bad guy stopping them.
Dude, he be whooping ass.
For no reason.
I've been enjoying the game. I mean, honestly, at this point, I just swing around. There's nothing to do because I 100% in it. Mm-hmm. But, dude, it was so good. It was incredible. You'll love it.
Mario, him stopping street crimes and being like, "You're lucky you can still walk." I'm like, damn, am I the good guy?
One last thing, and then we'll do the last 3 things and get you out of here. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about this today. Mm-hmm. I don't know the answer to this. I don't know why. Okay. Why are public bathrooms always so messy? You ever just open a stall and you're like, how did this happen? Because there's times, Jared, where I'll open a stall and just go, nope. I don't even want to use a stall. But there's just that one where there's like, I can't talk myself.
It's like you can't even explain how that could have happened.
But it's just like even if someone paid me, I'm not using the stall. How does this happen?
I just assume that it's not even. I assume I know there's a lot of nasty people out there, Mario.
Do you think they want to do that? Just leave that mess? Do you think they're just like leave a smile on their face? Like, oh yeah.
You think they feel good about it? They'll feel good about the mess that they made and left for other people to see.
I think they might.
You know, like Mario, I think it was on my notes one day. If or when I become the president, I'm making sure that at least twice a month, people are getting like a bundle of deodorant and soap. For everybody.
A bundle.
Maybe 2 for each family member you have. So if there's like 4 of you, maybe like 8 bars of deodorant, you know?
Hey, that might do some justice.
That's what I'm saying.
Might do something.
It should, because at that point, I'll know that everyone has no excuse. Everyone should be deodorant up.
Stay clean, folks.
Everyone should be hygienic, because they have no excuse. Like, I'm supplying the soap and deodorant at that point.
Brush your teeth, maybe some toothpaste, too.
That too.
Brush your teeth, deodorant.
Soap.
And wash your ass.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah, because there's some nasty people out there, Mario.
We're going to go Hook for the movie.
Yep, of course.
Because top 10, Jared, that's a crazy thing. Mm-hmm. Honestly, book of recommendation, obviously, the one and only, The Single Diary of Precarious Casey Gardner. I'm going to try and take the Amazon link and put it in the description.
Oh, thank you.
But honestly, like, I've promoted it so much. Like, I'm sure the people... Once again, if you have not bought this book, even as you're listening to this whole episode,
yep,
and you haven't even, like, checked Amazon or checked the link, and I'm pretty sure you have the link in your bio, right?
I do, yeah.
On Instagram? Mm-hmm. That you're probably the same person once again that's not subscribed. What are we doing? Can we get that figured out?
Exactly.
Please and thank you. So book of recommendation, we're gonna go with The Single Diary of Precarious Casey Gardner, and then eventually the Mars Murder Mystery.
Yeah.
Hook for the movie. Mm-hmm. Is there an album that you feel like shouting out, or any artists that you feel like shouting out on this episode, and around the fall time?
Working at the radio station, you think I would know off the top of my head. I can only think of... you know what? That's a lie. I'm going to shout out our very own Bayani, Gio Rodriguez, with the single Turn Off the Lights. I do enjoy that song. He knows I do. I play it quite often on my show. Shout out to Gio. Yeah, shout out to Gio. He's been on the podcast before. He's
due for another episode. I got to talk to him. Mm-hmm. Gio, if you're listening, we got to talk.
That's right, Gio.
We'll get it cooking again.
And then what's the last one? Movie, album.
Quote. Words of recommendation.
Yeah, words.
Well, you've already dropped some crazy takes on here, Jared. Can you top what you've said throughout? This also might be, don't know how long we've been running. I don't even know if the film's still going. I know I had plenty of storage. Mm-hmm. Don't know if we maxed it out. We could have. But this might be one of the longest episodes I've recorded for sure. It's 6:30.
That's crazy.
And you got here at like 4.
Wow. That's crazy.
So this Jared, this is definitely a peak.
That's crazy. I got no issue with you cutting some stuff out if you want to.
No, I can't. Jared, I can't. This was incredible. What you gotta preach to the people? What's been on your mind?
I just keep thinking of like sticks and stones might break your bones.
I love that one.
That one's a good one.
Do you want to say that again?
Yeah.
We can go with that one. That
sticks and stones may break your bones, but words hurt more for sure. That's the new rhyme. Words hurt more for sure. Words hurt real bad. Oh, I mean, even what we said before, like a good argument can change your whole mindset, and then a good story can change your life.
Oh, back to back, Jared. That was
crazy.
Yeah,
because one story changed my life. One story made me write a book. It was R.L. Stein's The Snowman. That was the first book to ever make me feel something.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know.
Snowman?
Yeah, R.L. Stein's The Snowman. R.L. Stein's the guy who made Goosebumps.
Goosebumps, yeah.
And he had young adult novels. Or he had teen novels.
Great
that was
book,
like
though? The Snowman? Great book?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I give it like... It was the first book to make me feel anything. And I didn't know books could do that to you.
I'm going to have to look into that.
But yeah, it's like one of my favorite books of all time. Because it holds a special place in my heart. That book led me to writing my first book. I read that book and I was like, I want to make people feel like this.
Yeah.
And then...
I want to make people feel hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the book made me feel like fear, horror, dread, happiness, like disgust.
Shit.
It was like drama the book was about. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
No. Like I was turning pages and I was like, no! I was like,
yeah.
No, you don't. You don't kill my best friend. I was doing stuff like that. It was crazy.
Jared, this was incredible. Once again, the book that we talked about around a year ago.
Yeah. You're holding it in your hands,
around this
Mario.
time. I'm not holding it in my hands.
Yeah.
Still so trippy.
Yeah.
It was an incredible read. I'm definitely going to read it again, obviously, because we've broken down how if you read it again,
there's something new every time.
Yes.
There's so much more I could talk about, Mario. In that bad boy right there. I don't have to. I don't need to.
Who knows? Maybe down the line you'll have even more takes on it.
That's incredibly true. Maybe down the line I won't even like the book anymore. Maybe I'll be like, this is trash.
Yeah, and your next it's like albums. It's in your next phase or era, and you're like, oh, Casey Gardner. I remember those times. Fucking bitch.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, no, who knows, man? But for a first ever book,
yeah.
Incredible, man.
Thank you.
Great job. You and I, we always chat.
Yep.
But we're going to do this again.
Yep.
I know we will.
Probably.
This is always the best.
It's fun. It's fun.
I
love
love this, man. And I can't wait for you to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they're going to be like, Dad, what were you like in college? Oh.
Go into my room, dust off a box.
Yeah. We're going to have like 10 episodes already. And it's just, oh, my God. It's going to be great.
I'll be like, just watch it. Listen to these.
Yes. Like, you need inspiration. You need to know things. Here we go.
What a crazy time that would be.
Crazy time.
But yeah, Mario, it's been a pleasure as always.
Dude, it's been a pleasure right back at you.
Talking about my book. That's crazy. I'm actually doing that a year later.
Your book.
Yeah.
Your book.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man.
And it's doing pretty good, too, which is really cool.
And you're making a little bit of...
side hustle money.
A little side hustle money.
Mario, the first book signing I had, I could buy a lot of chicken nuggets.
A lot of chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
I had chicken nuggets today.
From where?
My freezer.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't get them from anywhere.
I was like, yeah. I could buy a lot of McDonald's 4-piece chicken nuggets. I could be swimming in them with the money I made at the first book signing.
Hell yeah.
It was very good. It was very nice.
I love that for you, man. But with that said, everyone has a story and it's still being written. I appreciate every single one of you. If you did not buy the book yet, what are we doing? If you haven't subscribed, what are we doing?
Yep.
But with that said, I love all of you guys. Ciao for now. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.